I just feel like they had to cool the heat off. How did you feel about it, Trace? Like, I felt like there was a clear problem and they just needed everybody to quit fucking talking about it. That was how I felt. How'd you feel about the situation? Or do you currently feel about the situation?
I mean, I don't know. You got to be more straightforward with your fans on this. I mean, you got the most expensive tickets that the UFC's ever seen for like what we're going like I think like 3,200. It's like the lowest cheap the cheapest seat now. It's like you got people tied up with a shitload of money. I mean, you got to be straightforward with them. I don't understand what's going on with this. I don't know if they're just trying to save face or trying like if they really are trying to scramble to make a fight that does make sense for that amount of money. But yeah, I don't know. It's just it's poor. It's kind of like almost like a PFL type move, I would say.
Yeah, I know I've already said it. I just feel like they've got to have big news to follow up. Like, I don't feel like they want to announce that fight is off. I feel like they just want to announce the new fight that everybody will be excited about. Dead Picks, nice to see you on the mic, bud. Get after this.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to let you know that YouTube the live stream's up, but right now I put the stream set to private because it was still showing like UFC 300 breakdown stuff. So I'm just gonna edit the title, I'm gonna edit the description, all the other shit later. But right now, the stream is up technically, but it's not showing to anyone publicly. So it'll be up to the public, after the stream's done, and when I get a chance to edit everything. I
Yeah,
can
I
send you
got you.
the
That's
title.
on me anyway, if I'm
No,
being
no, no,
honest.
it's all good. I just wanted to let that we're still good to go.
Right on. What you think about Connor? You think he's fighting, bro?
Of course, he's gonna knock out that punk Chandler, within fucking maybe 2 or 3 rounds. So I'm
Yeah.
hopeful. I'm still hopeful. I ain't losing sight of that shit.
Yeah, I mean, I almost wonder if it's not a ploy just to kind of get people to move off of Connor and more onto Chandler. Like, oh, he's not focused. Like, he's releasing all these supposed recent videos of him like drinking and partying and doing other shit. And then, of course, the weird stuff that's going on now. It's like, are they trying just to set this up to where people like Connor's just a huge dog and all this money's on Chandler so they can? Because I mean, realistically, I think if this fight makes it Connor, I mean, Connor's gonna set this man up for a punch. I mean, if Connor's able to stand and strike with him, like he's fought Chad Mendez, he's fought similar styles. Like it's not like he's ever fought a wrestler before. I mean, like Khabib even had trouble getting him down, and yeah, I mean, it could be what like 3 rounds to be able to actually start getting work done on him. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think if this fight happens and Connor shows up on fight day, I think he's a combo away from setting Chandler down. Like I said, I've been straightforward with you guys. I got 5 units. I got a max bet on Connor at minus 108. So, yeah, I think if this fight does happen, I'm pretty happy with that bet.
Fair enough. Um, all right, I'm not going to make everybody kill this one. We can roll on. This is going to continue to get talked about. Um, Louisville, UFC Louisville set this fight night gate record. Um, I'm proud to say I was the first person you heard bitching. That just means that tickets are more than ever. And now they're bitching all the way up at the top end. They're submitting these questions to Ariel bitching. Um, and yeah, I feel like I had a little bit of spark of pointing it out that way because that's what it really means. Yep, just is what it is. I don't know. That's all I got to say about it. Cool thing, Dominic Reyes, $50,000 bonus. So it was originally listed that there was no fight in the night. Performance of the nights went to Raul Rosas, Bruno Fiera, Zachary Reese, and Carlos Prats. Dominic Reyes told Ariel Hawani that he talked to Dana on the phone, and I'm assuming he said to Dana, "Yo, man, that should have been knockout of the night." He said, "And now I have the bonus." He said, "So I got the bonus." He said Dana wasn't there, but when I said it to him, he was like, "You're right. You should have it." He said, "And now I have it." So I thought that was pretty cool. That gate record was $2.5,652. If I didn't point that out, Trace.
I just want to go ahead and go on record now saying this that I think Dominic Reyes is more like the guy that got knocked out by Ryan Spann than he is the guy that we saw fight Justin Jacoby and land that overhand right. I think me and Usman kind of had a conversation about it in the group chat. He basically just gave Reyes everything he needed: the forward pressure, the reckless abandonment that Jacoby doesn't usually fight with. I think that was just more like everything lined up for Reyes for that punch more than it was that he's that dude.
Jacoby had absolutely no respect for Reyes. And I mean, he had absolutely no respect for Reyes, and that's what that was. That's what happened. That's where that went. I don't even
100%.
I don't even like question it at all, if I'm being honest. Um, so this isn't really a talking point because you've probably seen it all over. But a quick topic: if nobody
Hey,
has seen
Joe,
it, yeah.
throw it to Usman real quick. He's got his hand up.
Oh shit! Nice to finally get you on the mic, bud. I was looking at the list. Get after it.
Yeah, no, my bad. Like all of us, still doing some dad duties around the house. Yeah, no, man. The thing that I thought of was you've been in the freaking kickboxing ring with Alex Pereira. For you to just go in there and do exactly what Dominic needed, it was kind of stupid, man. And when Jacoby had his second chance here in the UFC, I quickly became a fan of his, and then he went ahead and did shit like knockout uh, Daun Jung, I'm a big fan of, then beat Kennedy Nzechukwu, who I'm a big fan of, and then I'd get on him and say like, oh, he's gonna win this one, and then he'd shit the bed doing something stupid. At this point, it's like this dude's dead to me. How you gave him the one shot that you needed to give him? Ridiculous.
Yeah, I felt like that was a look or a tell for the UFC. I felt like that was a measuring stick there. I don't think the UFC expected Reyes to win that fight. If I'm being fair, or if I'm being honest,
Yeah, I'm sure they were under the same assumption we were that Jacoby would point him to death.
or finish him in the late rounds. I mean, let's be honest. Everybody knows he's got an off switch. At this point, I'm not being nasty at all. Um, Clear off switch. Dom's got a clear off switch, man. Aussie, nice to have you on the mic, bud. Get after it.
What's going on, guys? Sorry to beat this fight to death, but yeah, I think if I'm not wrong, he did kind of hurt Reyes for a second, right? And that's when he kind of went in and got a little too overconfident. I wasn't really expecting him to kind of do that till the second or third round, but like you said, that first round was always going to be dangerous. And if you're going to go in there with that, chin up, hands down, and just swinging, you're giving him every chance he needs.
Yeah, 100%. I watched it. I mean, like he literally fucking handed it to him. So whatever. I'm not mad. I'm not mad at all. I didn't have anything vested in that fight.
Yeah, I want to state that too. That like I said, I had a light week last week. I didn't have anything on that fight, so I'm not a bitter better. I'm just saying like that fight should not have happened that way. That was just pure bad judgment on Jacoby's part. But yeah, we'll stop beating this shit to death.
Yeah, Jacoby clearly lost the fight. Like sometimes, and you've heard me say this before, I don't always say a guy won the fight. Sometimes I say another guy lost the fight. I'm allowed to feel that way about it. I feel that way about it. We don't got to beat this one with a stick.
Yeah, only way to look at it is now we're gonna have Reyes at a better number than he would have had, and we'll be able to fade him on the next one.
Yeah, yep. Because they'll probably step him back up a little bit, so we'll probably find a nice spot against him. And if not, if he turns it around, man, fuck it. I'm not mad. I don't hate the guy or anything. I'm just trying to be honest about what I see. What I feel when I watch him fight. Dana White in the UFC is the next topic. Rare behind the scenes footage that has been clipped and posted everywhere. If you haven't seen the entire documentary already from MMA Orbit and the other fucking channels that are posting it, you could go to Roku or someone told me Fight Pass and watch Fighters Inc. Pretty cool. Some behind the scenes stuff. Really makes you wish you could just be there one time. Just be there they're all talking and the fighters are coming in and out. Like, just really makes you wish you could just one time be there when they're standing in the back talking. It's pretty badass. Dana White recently revealed. You guys remember when he walked out on Howie Mandel? Staged. Howie asked him to do it. That was Dana told him he was gonna, I guess, take a break from podcast. So that was the whole deal. Howie said, "Well, will you just come on and walk off?" And they did it. The last Dana White thing is, he said Power Slap had more followers than all sports combined and got smoked for it online. But he said, "Oh, I meant to say views," and it's hard to tell total views, but man, they already own 8 or 9 of the top 10 viewed shorts on all of YouTube with Power Slap. Yeah.
Can somebody please explain Howie Mandel to me? Like, he's that dude that tries to stay relevant, and no matter what he does, he's supposed to be a comedian. He's not funny. Like,
I'm gonna tell you
I don't
why
get
he's
I don't get the
famous.
guy. I don't get him.
Deal or no deal. That's why.
Yeah, I know what he's famous for, but he was a comedian before that. I think he's a radio host guy, but like, man, he's like a diva.
And he's a super germaphobe. You know that?
Yeah, he'll shake hands on that shit. He's weird.
Yeah, he's I don't know, fuck him. I don't care that much. Um Referee Jason Herzog criticized following controversial stoppage that we had a clip of over everywhere, but we got flagged by Mola TV, which is the UFC's Chinese outlet. They fucking flagged us for copyright, so it got taken down. But so I can't tell you. You can go watch it over there. But horrible fucking
Wait,
stop.
sorry, Joe. Who? Who got
Mola
you for
TV.
copyright?
Mola
China.
TV.
Did you say China?
Yeah.
You
They don't
you only
even
got the
have
song
copy.
clip?
They fucking don't even have copyright laws over in China, and they're stinging you for it in America. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it took me like 20 minutes because when you originally look them up, it says it's spam. But then when you dig a little bit, they're apparently they sell the UFC as pay-per-view, I think, in China. So I think you have to pay for a package, so they rip it down, I guess. I don't know. Whatever.
Okay.
Shit
I,
happens.
I might be wrong, but I remember back in the day, like they just copyrighted everything. That they would dub movies and sell them on the street. Like there was nothing illegal about. There was no copyright ownership over there. So that's hilarious that they're coming. They're looking at other people say, "Hey, this is ours. You can't do that now." So maybe laws changed over there. I don't know,
Well,
but
so I think it says China and Singapore, and like I think it names Singapore, and Singapore made more sense to me. I probably should have brought that up first, but it says China. That's listed first. That's easier to find. Either way, Herzog's fucking stoppage was horrible, and I don't think he meant it, man. I don't I don't think he wants to stand on it the way that, he has to. I think that he thought he seen what he thought he seen, and shit happens.
For what it's worth, I will say like Herzog's probably one of the more consistent ones. But yeah, that was fucking bad. Like that was like he was to the point where he was almost clear. Like his mind was clear. His knees or his legs just weren't under him. Like it seemed like as soon as they stopped the fight, he was fine. Like his legs were there again. He finally had enough time to get himself together, but it was too late. Like I said, I tweeted out right away, man. I feel like, especially at the level that these guys are at, like title contenders and potential title contender, you got to let these guys go out. You got to let these guys go to sleep. That's what they're there for. That's what their job is. Like, you can only protect them so much. Like, yeah, don't let them die on the mat, but like, let the man get knocked down.
100%. And I'm gonna stand on. He was doing what he was supposed to. He was trying to find a way to regain his senses. And he wasn't. I'm not just gonna repeat what you said, but he wasn't down. He was up on his feet trying to figure out how to regain his senses, and I can't be mad at him for that at all.
And I seen someone say something the other day, like a tweet, like a reference, like you were letting Yan Xiaonan get pounded out, like beat to death on the ground, and didn't stop that fight. But you have a grown ass man. Granted, he did turn his back, but he was doing what he had to do to survive.
Bros, how long y'all really been watching all types of MMA? Y'all remember Jason Herzog? It was Tim Silva and God damn it, Abe. He did it to Tim Silva. It was probably God, I guess it was probably so long ago it's not fair to bring it up. It probably was over 10 fucking years ago, but he definitely did that same shit to Tim Silva. Tim Silva like went down, but you could tell that he was trying to cover up and like had some senses to him. And Herzog jumped in, and I don't know. When I seen it, I was like, "Oh, motherfucking Tim Silva!" But he's
I
coming
will say
back.
this: that if we're having to go back that far for Tim Sylvia to find another bad call, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. You know, I was like, "God damn, Tim Sylvia," and then I thought to myself, like, "Well, that's probably the only complaint I've had since Tim Sylvia." With the, you know, that I'm sure that we could nitpick, but you literally have to fucking nitpick. So
I mean, we can't really say too much because we have like the Carrie Hatleys and the that little leprechaun looking motherfucker that like does not want to stop a fight whenever somebody needs it to get stopped. Like it's crazy. But yeah, or no, he stops it way too early. That's what it was. He was the one that stops it way too early. So in a world where we have all those guys, like Herzog's probably one of the better ones. But yeah, that there's just no redeeming that one.
quick pause. Dead pics. Everything is updated. Description, title, thumbnail. It's already live, public. I fixed it all, Bubba. My bad. I was late on that. We'll just keep rolling. Luke Rockhold and Sean Strickland feud is heating up on fucking socials again. Sean apparently pieced his ass up in the gym. Rockhold says, "Oh, I was won over. Fucking, you know, grabbed some paper towel and wetted it down and made a mouthpiece. And, you know, he really wanted to go. He really wanted to fucking make it a thing." Like, that's what I remember Rockhold's attitude being, and he just won't let it go. I think he signed a Combate now and everything, and he just won't fucking let it go. Like, bro, Sean Strickland will beat the shit out of you, Luke Rockhold. Like, I'm sorry. He will beat your ass. There may have been a day and a time where that was not the case. But in 2024, it is definitely the case. Yeah, I just thought I'd throw that one out there. I don't know if anybody's got any comments. Valentina Shevchenko has a no water rule for her students on Tough. That's why her lips are always dried out and cracking.
Fuck you, Joe. Fuck you. Fuck you, dude. Jesus Christ.
It is. When you watch her fight, she always looks dehydrated. That's why. She doesn't fucking drink water when she trains. She's she's like the smartest, dumbest motherfucker I what the fuck? Aussie, get after it.
Yeah, you're 100% right. You can't be at peak performance when you're dehydrated. Um, I heard her talk about it on the Joe Rogan. She did a Joe Rogan episode a while ago. I didn't believe it then. I thought she just, great fighters are great liars. And I just thought she was bullshit and hoping all her opponents were out there trying to mimic her or something. But that's just ridiculous. If you're not drinking, I think she wakes up, doesn't drink, has a full training session, and then she'll have a glass of water after that or some bullshit. I just think that's absolutely nuts. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, definitely gonna build your mental toughness. You're definitely gonna be able to get through the bad shit in the octagon. But yeah, but how much does that affects your training and your recovery though? That's especially like when you're getting punched in the face, man. You need water for recovery. That could be yeah, it could be might work for the women's MMA. I wouldn't try that for the men's.
Yeah, well, it obviously works for her, but to expect everybody else to be able to do that as well, it's
Oh, I fucking muted you, Aussie. I'm sorry, bro.
oh, man.
You said to expect everybody else to be doing it as well. Yeah, it's ridiculous. I know what you were going to say. It's not realistic. Here's my thing. I understand enough about like muscle fiber. It's time. If she's dehydrating her muscles, she is destroying them. We are going to watch her deteriorate fast with age. You have to hydrate your muscles, and you have to hydrate them as they age. You need to hydrate them as you work them. They need to be pre-hydrated. They need to be hydrated while you work them, and then they need to be rehydrated after you've sweat that out while you are putting it in. Yeah, she is going to fade in age quickly, and sadly, I would assume that we will see it quick. You can't do that. You're going to hit a fall off point very, very fast. Of course, her fall off point probably a little later in life than mine would be or your guys's would be. We're not professional fucking athletes, but short of that, standing in front of professional athletes, she's destroying her body, and I will stand on that statement. She is destroying her fucking body. Dustin Poirier revealed the extent of his injuries against Islam: broken nose, busted ribs, partially torn ACL. My guy is done. BKFC, Mike Perry, Dustin Poirier. I can't fucking wait. Let's go. 2025. I call it April 2025. Dustin Poirier. UFC lets him go over. BKFC fucking Mike Perry. It's coming. Dead picks.
You saw the Mike Perry Jake Paul announcement, right?
Are they fighting?
Yeah, Mike Tyson's out. Mike Perry's
It was
in.
announced today.
I'm
I
pretty
think.
sure it's boxing. I don't think it's bare knuckle because if it was bare knuckle, they would not be fucking making this fight. Mike Perry's in. Yeah, it's official.
It's a lot smaller too. Next to Paul. Paul's a pretty big guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, bare knuckle all day. You got to take your boy. But I mean, if we're talking 8 rounds, those big gloves, a much bigger guy. Yeah, I think Paul's probably going to outpoint him
Yeah,
there.
Paul will probably
But he
figure
ain't
out.
breaking. He ain't breaking no Mike Perry. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I don't think no knockout. Decision for sure, though. That's what I'm leaning.
Yeah, nah, fuck that. I'm taking Mike Perry by decision. All right, we got about 5 minutes before we hop into the card. Run through a couple more quick hot topics here. Jorge Masvidal, Nate Diaz. If you didn't see the press conference, go see it. Whatever. We ain't got to talk about that one. We'll skip. Here, I got ones that will bounce a little bit. So Connor shared new sparring footage, but we now know that fight is possibly in trouble, and they're looking for replacements again. Islam wants to fight Connor over Armin. Islam, he just said that he literally said he would rather fight Connor over Armin in his next title defense. However, doubts Connor will return to action soon enough. If he's out and they find Chandler a replacement, I could definitely see them doing Islam versus Connor because it's just going to sell. It's going to be a huge ass fight. Islam also wants to go up and fight Bilal after that if he gets the Connor fight. Seemingly, he just wants to go up and fight. I shouldn't have said Bilal. He wants to fight for the 170 title. Bilal doesn't want to do it if he wins. Leon wants to do it if he wins. But Leon says he thinks his next opponent will be the winner of Michael Venom Page versus Ian Gary, and he is watching that fight closely. So I kind of rambled through all that because they're all talking about each other. But I think that it will be Islam Connor later this summer. I don't know if anybody wants to comment on that. And I think that it will be the winner of MVP, Ian Gary versus Leon Edwards, if he wins later this summer. I think those are fights we're going to see for sure. May fall.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Armin's coming off of a quick KO win, right?
Uh-huh.
I mean, if you could talk Michael Chandler into that, that's a big name win for Armin. That makes him undeniable for the title shot next. I'd say.
Nah, no way. I gotta say, no way. No way possible. It's the most expensive fight gate in UFC history. It has to be Max Holloway for the
Oh
BMF
man, it
title.
should be 100%.
It has to be Max Holloway for the BMF title. There is no way that fans forgive the UFC if it is not Max Holloway, because it's not going to be John Jones, you know.
Yeah,
So
y'all remember that time that Cody Durden was supposed to be on this card, but he was an idiot and told all of Twitter about it before he was supposed to, so he got removed.
this card,
UFC 303.
oh yeah, I do.
Thought that was hilarious. He was so pumped about it, he couldn't keep it secret. He lost the opportunity.
Last thing I got here. BKFC and Risen will now partner and do co-promoted events. Basically, there will be a couple of BKFC fights, official BKFC fights, during some Risen events starting, I think they said July 12th. And then eventually maybe some BKFC events standalone in Japan. He's going to bring his marketing team and everything else from BKFC, David Feldman. And he really wants to get a push in the Southeast Asian area. For BKFC, that would be huge. And they could go over to Asia and crush numbers as big as the UFC. No problem. Not pay-per-view sales, but elsewise, they could crush numbers over there. That would be a great move for them. And if they're still broadcasting in the US, bro, you can mix it up with all the local talent over there, throw a few American fighters on the card, and we're still all going to watch and we're still all going to love it. That's a huge move for them. I'm rooting for BKFC. I want them to push boxing out. They're not going to push MMA out. It doesn't worry me. It doesn't scare me. You guys might think I'm crazy. 2032, the shit we're talking about is UFC, Power Slap, and BKFC. Zabetz had his hand up first. I know you're a host, Trace, but he was up early on this topic. Get after it, bud.
Yo, what's good, Joe? What's good, Trace, Usman, Aussie, Deadfix? How we doing?
What's happening? Nice to see you in here, bud.
Always. Well, speaking about Japan, you're speaking about Japan a little bit. I got a question for you. Hopefully, it doesn't ruin like the upcoming fights later or whatnot. But what are your thoughts on that new signing that they just signed? That guy from Japan. I heard he has like mad YouTube videos. I think he's a bantamweight. I forget his name, Fukushima or something like that.
Kaya Sakura.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's literally next on my list here. Kai Akasara announced that he will depart from Risen and move to BKFC or UFC. I think it's a good signing. The UFC is already talking about getting him a fight. And he said that Sakabara was super dope about it. He said he went to him last year, I think he said, and told him what his intentions were, and they weren't mad at him. They were not happy for him. He didn't say that, but he said it was all good. They totally respected it, and they weren't mad at him at all. They're gonna try to push this kid to the moon. He's gonna get fed. He's gonna get fed. They can bring him in for 3 fights and just let him hammer on people to get UFC famous, because he is Southeast Asia famous, and he will do the numbers they wish Whaley would do.
And
And
he speaks crystal clear English.
yes, he does. And don't forget that Horiguchi is trying to get back in the UFC and they're not interested. If he's still looking in 6 months or 7 months and this kid is banged out 2 wins, they set this kid on his own path and they let Horiguchi come back and start chasing him.
I think it's a trilogy fight there. I'm pretty sure they're 1-1 against each other.
They are. So you make Horiguchi, you let the kid get 2 wins, and then while he's getting his next 2 wins, you bring Horiguchi in on the back end and let him get 2. And now you've got a super fight in Asia. That's enormous for the UFC. Aussie, get after it, and I'm gonna close this one out.
Yeah, I'll be quick. I'm excited for this guy, but how amazing is the who was it? Ryzen, was it that he was fighting
Uh-huh.
for? Like,
Yeah.
they gave this man a microphone, let him stand in the middle of the cage, tell all his fans he's going to the UFC. How insane is that? Like, we're used to somebody leaving the UFC. Dana White says, yeah, they're fucking scared to fight this guy. That's why they left. They're a pussy, rah, rah, rah. Like, fucking hats off to these guys. This guy's came in, he's bled for him, he's done everything he could. And then they've said, okay, you go off, you can let the fans know where you're going to be. Like, I just think that's incredible. Hats off to them. They care about their fighters, man. It's a big difference over there. He did the right thing by
Don't
them. They
forget,
do the right thing by him.
he
Yeah, I
vacated their
love it.
bantamweight title when he did it too, Aussie. So, like,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
amazing.
I
Like, what
agree.
did they do for Ngannou when he left? He's scared to fight John Jones. He's a pussy. He just wants to go off and do this, do that. It's a massive difference, man. And yeah, I'm excited for this kid, man. It's he's going to fit in well.
I think so. Trace.
Yeah, I just want to touch on something real quick. Like when I first got into the UFC, long ass time ago, it was the heavier classes that I loved to watch. It was the middleweights, the light heavyweights, the heavyweights. That was where all your action was. Now it's dude like the bantamweights, the 135. That's such a stacked division. The 45 division so stacked. The lightweight division so stacked. I love the small divisions, man. This is a huge pickup for them. This is them ensuring the future of that bantamweight division by just talent stacked. And I mean, like that whole top 10, top 15 is all fucking killers, man. There's not a weak top 15 in them lower weight class like it does in the bigger classes, man. It's just crazy how I went from like not having any interest in the lower weight classes when I was younger to now it's the ones I look forward to the most.
I just want a yes or no from you, Trace. We will not kill this subject. Yes or no? Do you think Patchy Nip Mix could come in and win that title? Because I do not.
No, I think there's a couple matchups that are bad, so no.
Yeah, I think he's a top 10 guy and probably a top 5 guy and maybe touches the belt one day. Right fight. But I don't think he's no dominant champion.
I know you don't want to kill it, but what puts me off a little bit more is how now, like whenever we first started talking about it, like nobody was talking about Patchy Mix. Now he's MMA Twitter's favorite fighter, and that's just kind of a instant fade for me.
Oh, yeah, the public don't get to make money. Mike Perry called out Donald Cerrone for BKFC, but that is not fucking relevant because he's apparently fighting Jake Paul, which is saddening. All right, so that's it. That is all of the news and topics. We went 5 minutes over.
I do have one for you.
Yeah.
Donald Cerrone and Tim Kennedy are being labeled racist now. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because and all it was Donald Cerrone reflecting on a memory with Tim Kennedy where he basically just bragged about enjoying smashing the Russian fighters whenever he wrestled them. Like I personally didn't think there's nothing wrong with it. If you hate somebody, you hate somebody. Uh, but yeah, it's just people are sensitive nowadays, man.
Well, I think people
Wait,
lose
is
track
that
of.
racist or is that nationalist? Like,
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. I think
I think it's
people.
a very people blur the lines on that. And I think everything is racist nowadays. You can't just be something you're racist if you are something that doesn't blend in with everybody else's beliefs.
Well, yeah, and nationalism is considered a bad thing now, but nationalism is the most important thing for any country in the world, and I'll stand it.
I got called racist over a tweet. I got called racist over a tweet I sent out yesterday. This New Zealand fighter coming out. He's got the Maori tattoos on his face, and he's got one body tat. And I just said,
Oh yeah,
imagine getting
yeah.
a face tattoo and having that much blank canvas. Man, I had some fucking people coming after me, calling me racist and shit. I had to delete it.
Was
It's
that your
fucking
post?
sensitive out
I
here,
thought that was
man.
hilarious.
No, that was a good post. All
I
right,
thought it
I
was
don't want to
Yeah, I
hilarious.
kill.
thought it was funny too. It wasn't racist shit.
I don't want to kill this. I got one post out there. People question too. If you go watch the new Planet of the Apes movie, the head ape reflects Khabib Nurmagomedov. The second ape,
You
his best.
cancel, brother. That's it. You cancel.
The second ape, his best friend, sincerely reflects Islam Nurmagomedov or Islam Makhachev, and they are part of the fucking Eagle Clan. I'm not lying, bro. It's fucking real. Go watch the movie. I just whatever. But yeah, I got hit on that one. Some people were like, "That ain't cool," but fuck you. That's how I feel. So we're done with that. We'll edit those out. 37 minutes for the clip. I don't know if you want to record that for the description there for the timestamp Usman or dead picks, but I'm at 37 there. All right, so we're gonna kick this card off. This is UFC on ESPN 58, Perez versus Taira, also known as UFC Vegas 93. And it should also be known as UFC Apex 100 because this is the UFC's 100th card at the Apex. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty cool. No one really acknowledges that. I've always just thought we should name them off as Apex cards. I hate all the mixing up of everything. It's probably not the most exciting card in the world, but we stay true and tried, and we break these cards down every week. So, unfortunate for Trace, he is the guy who does a lot of our tape study around here, and man, I'm sorry on this one. Usman, you want to do some tail of the tape today? I don't think we need to hit it on all of the fights, but I could throw you the ones that I think we should if you're cool with that.
I think this dude said he's on Jeepers Creepers 2 duty tonight.
Oh, he's got all his kids over there. He's got like 37 of them or something, I heard. I don't know.
Mexicans, man, I swear, they just don't know when to stop.
All right, so first up is Melquizael Costa versus Shayilan Nuerdanbieke. Little bit of, we'll start with the odds. Nuerdanbieke is plus 153. That's over 33 books. Our site takes the average. The new feature that I haven't dropped that I should have. Couple of stories reporting in on these guys. Couple headlines if you search them. Costa is minus 192. I'm not going to hit all these stats. They've got some UFC fights. Costa is a striker. Both guys grapple. Costa does both. Both guys got decent grappling and shitty takedown defense. Trace, what do you got on this fight, bud?
Yeah, both these guys are both coming off of losses to Steve Garcia. Man, honestly, going into that Steve Garcia, I was pretty high on Melky Acosta, but yeah, I still think he's the better fighter here. Shayilan Nuerdanbieke kind of. I mean, he does have a lot of experience, but it's not against good guys. His wins aren't against very good guys. Yeah, I think this is probably a solid over fight. There's probably gonna be a lot of wrestling in this fight, a lot of grappling, a lot of trying to control the other one. So it's really just gonna be whoever has the better cardio and who has the better game plan. So I do think Costa's probably should be the favorite. Minus 180 seems pretty close to what it should be. So still got some value on him at minus 180. So yeah, give me Costa by decision in this fight.
I like the over here. You know me, I'm the over-under guy. I'm a fucking whore for that shit. I definitely like the over here, but that's my only take on this fight. I'm not very high on either one of them. Aussie, go ahead, bud.
Yeah, I kind of like Nuerdanbieke at this price, man. This guy hits pretty hard. He's got a knockdown in his last 3 fights, and he's got the grappling upside. I think he's going to win these wrestling exchanges. I think he could even hurt Costa on the feet. We know that they both lost to Garcia in their last fight, but I could see something like that happen. I could definitely see Costa getting caught, getting hit hard, and maybe even finished. I think most likely a decision, but Nuerdanbieke at plus money, yeah, he's an easy dog for me. I've thought about it a lot, and I just can't. No one can talk me off it, and yeah, I think he's probably going to get bet down a little bit as the time gets closer because he's a nice looking dog to me. I like getting him out of the way early too, betting the dog early. Yeah.
I just want to let you know, if you don't know, he did lose to Rongju. That does not bode well.
Yeah,
Rongju
but
was
did you
supposed to be
see
the
what he
next
did to
Asian.
Derek Minner, dude?
Dude, Derek Minner basically gave him that. That
Nah,
was
come on, dude.
that was Krausgate, bro.
That
Nah, there
that
would
is
be
the
investigations and everything if that was true, man. Come on.
That's
on, bro.
Krausgate. That's Krausgate, bro.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
they
fucking
know
with you,
that
bro. I'm fucking
happened.
with you.
They know that happened. All right. So we're split on that fight, but everybody's on the over.
Let's
Ozzy,
take the over. Yeah, I feel like that's a solid over.
yep, I got to agree. Next up, Josefine Knutsson versus Julia Polastri. This is also reporting over 33 books with lines as old as 16 days. Knutsson is a minus 204 average, and Polastri is a plus 160 average. These ladies are fighting at 115. Knutsson is notable to be 7-0 right now, 3-0 in the UFC. Polastri is 12-3. She's 1-1 in the UFC. She lost to Jasmine Jasdavicius, and then beat I cannot remember who she beat right now, but then she beat somebody. This is a free over. This is an absolutely free over. If you play parlays and you don't throw this one on your parlay, I don't understand it. Even if somehow, by some way, from the sky opens up and there is a fucking finish in this fight, 99.999% of the time, this fight is gonna go over 2.5 rounds. So, that's my take on this fight. Trace, what's your take? Where are you at on
Uh,
this fight?
I was just looking this Pilastri's UFC debut coming off a Contender Series. She did have a finish in the Contender Series fight to get here. She beat a 9-2 Patricia Alujas by rear naked choke. Pilastri's got 4 KOs and 3 submissions in her 12 wins, so she is primarily a finisher, a 50-50 when it comes to finishes. Uh, yeah, man, I feel like it's just a safe over. I do think that Knutsson is the rightful favorite. It's hard to say in women's MMA if somebody that's minus 200 deserves that line, but Polastri doesn't really show me anything that makes me want to take a shot on the dog value. So yeah, I'll just have this fight in the over, and depending on what Usman's split strat says, maybe potential a split prop, because judging's been weird lately, man. We might have to start playing splits in a lot of these women's fights from now on. Maybe in most fights in general.
Yeah, that's not a bad look at all. What I was thinking the other day is we need to look at low played markets, or not low played, low visited regions. If a region doesn't see much action, we know that they're going to want local judges on their card, right? We also know when they go to Texas, they want local judges on those cards. So we've got to start accounting for that when it comes to split decisions, in my opinion. Yeah, I feel pretty confident in saying that that's a good thing to start watching for. Up next, though, let me get over to the odds board because I was making my notes on the over here. All right, so we shouldn't have to kill this one. Up next is Jeka versus Westin Wilson. 16 books reporting, or 34 books reporting for 16 days. Minus 345 for Jeka, plus 261 for Westin Wilson. Yeah, there's some stories coming in on these guys, but man, this is an under. This is a fight goes to decision. Absolutely not. If you don't want to take a side for some reason, Jack is going to beat the shit out of Westin Wilson. This isn't even there's not much to talk about here. Trace, go ahead.
Man, see, I'm actually wanting to take a shot on Weston Wilson's sub prop this week. I think, man, Jacket did not look like. I know Mike's got a different view on it, and he'll be in here later. I'd like to get his view on this fight. I know he's pretty adamant on the side that he's on, but man, I just think the size matters in low level fights, and that's what this is. This is a low level fight. This is a winnable fight for Weston Wilson. Yes, it's another power puncher, and if he rolls for a fucking knee bar again and pins himself on the ground to get punched in the face till he goes to sleep, then the man deserves it, you know. But I think he is literally a takedown away in this fight from winning at any point. Jeka overextends. Jeka throws big bombs. He throws power, but he leaves himself off balance when he does. Westin, like I said, Westin Wilson's the much bigger fighter, the much bigger guy, and he's going to be a lot heavier on that on fight day. Yeah, man, I think if he's able to get him down, he gets a submission this fight. So I'll have a small wager, probably a quarter unit bet on his sub prop. Probably his I might do the round props like I always do on FanDuel as well, depending on how juiced they are. If I get better lines that way, but yeah, I'm gonna take a shot on Weston Wilson this weekend. May look stupid, but hey, he's a minus or plus like 200 something dog. He's supposed to lose.
He is supposed to lose, and he's going to get knocked out. Jeka is going to knock his ass out. Yeah, bro. Even if he shoots for the
Bro,
takedown,
this is one of those fights where you have two finishers that are coming from two different backgrounds. You have the knockout guy versus the submission guy. We're gonna have a weird, sloppy decision fight. Watch, the over's gonna hit.
no fucking way. Because even when Westin shoots for takedowns, and Jeka's halfway stuffing one, if that happens in the first 3-4 minutes, Jeka will hurt him from there. He'll fucking hit him in the side of the head and hurt him from there. Yeah, I just think Jeka hits that hard, and I think we know that Westin cannot take a fucking punch. And I don't think Jeka has ever been submitted, ever. I'm trying to look right now, actually, while I'm talking. Aussie, go ahead and get after it, and then I'll look that up. But I don't think he's ever been submitted. Oh,
Yeah,
fuck, he's been submitted twice. I was wrong about that shit. How long ago was that? Oh, yeah, okay, so that was his first fight, and then 5 years ago almost. 4 years ago. Anyways, go ahead, Aussie.
yeah. I'm thinking everything Tracy's thinking here. Jeka, he does hit like a truck, and he probably is going to knock this guy out. Wilson's not good. He's really not good. He's scared of getting hit. He's going to be like fucking 6 inches taller than this prick. If he does get this fight to the ground in round one, and he does get a submission. I think that's his win equity, like we were saying last week with Reyes. If he wins, it's round one KO, and it's 10-1. How do you not bet that? I think it's the same spot here. I think his round one sub is 12-1. I think if this goes 5 minutes and he doesn't get a submission, it's probably because he's fucking asleep on the canvas. I don't think it really gets to round two at a high clip. I think he either gets knocked out or gets the submission. But I see 12-1, 13-1 out there for sub. Once our books open up here in Australia for the props, if I can get 13-1 on his round one sub, that's an auto play for me.
I couldn't agree more. I'm waiting for the same thing for my books to drop the sub props.
I will just remind you guys all that Westin Wilson sucks. Jeka is
He
coming
is
in
shit. You're not wrong, Joe. You're not wrong. He's shit.
and Jeka is a hot guy as far as prospect, and he's got a good following online, and he's coming out of Asia, man. I'm sorry, man. I don't really think it's all narrative like fixed fights, but I've said all along there is a Dana White narrative. I have said this since the day you guys met me. Dana White is now at a point where he is clearly hunting harder for an Asian sensation than he ever has. And he doesn't want one, he wants 20. I'm not saying he needs to fill the whole UFC as his desire, but he needs, bro, the numbers Conor McGregor has done could be absolutely dwarfed by an Asian star or a star from India. It just absolutely make Conor McGregor look like he was not even a star. Um, and Dana White is on the hunt. And if you guys think that Dana White is letting Jeka lose to Westin fucking Wilson, if you think that he looked at that fight and said, "Oh, that's a good fight," you're fucking crazy. He looked at that fight and said, "Yeah, that's a good fight for Jeka. Do that. See if that Westin kid will take it." That's what happened, in my opinion. Ozzy, go ahead.
Sorry, one more thing, just while we're on the subject of this guy. You notice lately the UFC is really enjoying, or the matchmakers really enjoying putting tall fighters against short fighters. Seems we're seeing a lot of that, like this year. Like they put real big guys against real small guys. I guess it's to entertain the casuals or whatever. But the big guys haven't been going so well. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he does get his clock cleaned early in this one.
Well, Pratis did, right? But I would say that's due to compacted power and a punch and an uppercut and a gut shot. but I wouldn't say that they're pushing it, doing it more on purpose. I would say that they are just, they don't care anymore. It seemed like maybe they avoided it unless they had to for a long time, making it look so, because it makes it look mismatched, So maybe it does look better. Maybe it looks better to Asian market that I'm talking about because they like that stuff. So they're rubbing in my face, but maybe they don't care about making it look so even anymore. They don't have to. They're the fucking UFC now. Like, damn, they're the big deal. Anyways, next up, oh shit, did I freeze? Trace, what fight is up next year? Do you know?
No, I don't have it up in front of me.
Oh, we're in trouble, boys. My browser froze. I did some dumb shit. We're in trouble. I had everything open too. God damn it.
I think
Here
it's
we go.
the Judice Fernandes fight.
Well, you guys had to hear that shit.
Yeah, so the next fight is Carli Judice versus Gabrielle Fernandes. Gabrielle Fernandes. 1 second. Excuse me. So we had Carli Judice 3-1, fighting out of Mississippi, but she actually fights out of Lake Charles, Louisiana. She's about 20 minutes from my hometown. She's actually my brother's training partner, or one of his training partners. 5'7", 68-inch reach versus the Brazilian 8'3", 5'6" with a 66-inch reach. So we're doing a role reversal here, Joe. What do you got on this fight? You kick it off.
No, I'm gonna try to get the browser with. I'm gonna try to repair my computer. You can kick this off. I'll get that picks back on the mic.
All right. So yeah, I'm obviously going to be a little biased in this fight, but I don't think it's unwarranted. This is a fight where it's two strikers. Carli Judice coming off the contender series. She did lose, but she got the contract in a war with the other girl. I can't think of the other girl's name right now off the top of my head, but she's in the UFC as well, like I mentioned. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the girl that's gonna have the more volume, the more pressure, and the cardio, which Carli Judice has. She's all forward pressure, just not she doesn't stop coming forward. She's gonna throw punches and kicks and in bunches. She's had a few head kick knockouts in her amateurs and her in her pro wins. Yeah, like I said, I'm biased on here. I'm gonna give me the crazy big underdog in a fight that's gonna be a stand up war. Yeah, I'll take a shot on the dog here. Give me Carli Judice. Ozzy, you got anything on this fight? For what it's worth, I do think this is probably a safe over. So yeah, this is probably an over for somebody that doesn't want to pick a side or take a dog shot.
Yeah, I'll probably just have the dog by split. That's probably it.
It's probably a good way to play it. Like I said, I think it's going to be a probably a nice little stand-up little battle here. Joe, what you got?
I'm gonna say this. I'm at the point in betting that I have a hard time not, like, something has to be glaringly obvious for me not to take the over in a women's flyweight fight, and it's just not here for me. So
Like glaringly obvious. You mean Amanda Nunes in it?
like lopsided to the point where I'm like, oh my god, yeah, she's gonna fucking finish her. She's gonna choke her out. This woman's got no takedown defense, no grappling. This woman's a great grappler, or whatever the read is. But my read has to be off the charts. It has to be at least an 8.5 in confidence for me not to take the over now. Like I feel like you could just bet all women's 115 and 125 overs as fast as they come out. Just keep building parlays into the future. And I feel like you could permanently fucking profit off it. To the point that sitting right here, I'm going to type myself a note to just start fucking hammering them as fast as I can get them online because, bro, like it's another over. And yeah, it's not going to be.
Sorry, Joe, you cutting out for a minute. I didn't know you're still going. My bad.
Oh, my bad. It's not going to be great money, but it's gonna fucking hit. That's just how I feel. Usman, get after it, and then Trace.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about is a Korean Silva kind of situation where she's just got a huge advantage over a girl. that's when you hit the under and you stay away from that over. But
That's who I was seeing in my head when I was saying that. Amanda Nunes and Karine Silva. Those were the women in my head where I'm like, yeah, of course you don't take the fucking over with them. That's who I'm seeing. So you're absolutely right, bro.
I'm just coming in to say I'm also on the over. I'm also on Carli Judice, or however you say it. Simply just because I like her striking just a little bit more. I thought she looked good in that contender series loss. Right now I've got over on that fight, over on Shayilan Nuerdanbieke, over on the Knutsson fight, and under 1.5 on the Westin Wilson Jeka Saragih fight for plus 344. Then, if you want to talk about just them females and the overs, you're getting both of them at minus 110. So, I always do a parlay on the first four fights of the night, and that's probably going to be it.
Yeah, that's a good play. Trace.
Completely unrelated to this card. I just want to get a rapid fire response from the guys that are on the mic real quick. So we have a fight coming up in a few weeks. It's another women's fight. So I just want to. That's why we're on the topic. We got a little time to burn because we're quick on this fight. I just want to get a view on this one. Off the top of your head, just name the fighter you think wins this fight. Jillian Robertson versus the Karate Hottie Aussie. Who do you think wins off the top of your head straight away?
Robertson.
Okay.
Robertson by submission.
Usman.
Oh, Robertson, man, it's too old for Watterson.
Za. So
Same.
anyway,
Same.
you're on. Okay, so Dead. We'll close it out with you then. All right, Dead's busy.
What fight are we on? Are we still on the Carli Judice fight?
Well, I'm talking about Jillian Robinson versus Karate Hottie. I got a little off track.
That's all right. You're gonna go bet it right now, Trace?
I already did. I'm all over Karate Hottie on this fight, man.
Yeah, you got a crush on her, bro. We all know that.
No. Y'all know I'm a Jillian lover in this chat, and I'm pretty good on picking her fights. But you got somebody that historically has great takedown defense, has only fought good fighters. She's on a 4-fight losing streak, but look who's against. This is an extremely big jump in competition for Jillian Robertson, and at plus 200, I took a shot on Karate Hottie. I'm on an island, apparently. I guess I'm going against the public, but I'm okay with that.
Brother, next fight, please, brother.
Josh Quinlan versus Adam Fugitt. I don't know what the odds are on this one, but I'll have them up in just a second here.
It's almost
So
ridiculous. It's Fugitt's or Quinlan's like a minus 128 to a minus 101 or something like that.
plus 102 on average for Adam. So you can see him at plus money at several books. He's plus 105 a lot of places. That's 35 books reporting. Josh Quinlan minus 127 here. I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to play this fight at all, but I think this is a good dog spot. Josh Quinlan isn't that good. I know he's got all this hype, and I know everybody likes him, but he's not that good. I wouldn't parlay it, but if you're just looking for a decent dog to play, I think Adam's probably a nice spot here. What are you doing on this fight, Trace?
Yeah, I'm on the opposite side, man. I think Quinlan, the more powerful striker, probably the more durable fighter of the two, definitely has been able to take a shot for most of his career. I think while Quinlan's not the fastest, just the style of fight that these two are going to bring it slightly leans in favor in Quinlan. I think he gets the shot and puts him out at some point. So I don't know if I'm gonna play it, but if the KO prop's a pretty decent line, I'll probably jump on it. But yeah, give me Quinlan by KO.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to be on Quinlan by KO, to be honest.
It's already started moving. It opened at a pick'em, so it's already starting to slide in Quinlan's favor. But yeah, this is another one of them cards where I'm gonna pick my spots dependent on the prop numbers. I don't really love too many money lines on this fight.
I will say this: they set the over at 2.5, and it is minus 2. It can't be minus 210.
No,
To go,
That's
1.5.
There's no way. Where's that? That's got to be reporting wrong from somewhere. Nobody's fucking doing minus 210 on the fucking over.
No, it's over 1.5, bro. Over
Is
one
it?
and a half minus 210. Yeah, I was about to say that I don't mind that over one and a half. We're looking at the strat, see what it says. Our highest hitting percentage that goes to distance is at plus 130. So it says that isn't saying it's gonna go over. But plus 130, I kind of like it for them getting close to the minus money. And then goes to split plus 400. That's telling us to hit over. For it to be at one and a half, I like that, especially if Fugitt comes out and gets his wrestling started early.
Um, yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I feel. I feel like Quinlan will probably start the gas pretty quick. I don't think it'll take long. Ozzy.
Yeah, I like Fugitt here. Another underdog I like, slight underdog, but I think he can mix in the takedowns a little bit. I think if he gets hurt on the feet, he's not going to just stand there cover up. He's going to shoot for takedowns and try to do something other than just strike back or run away. So yeah, I do think Quinlan's probably got the power edge here, but I think Fugitt's got more ways to win. You know, can win minutes on the ground. Quinlan, we've seen, in the past. I mean, he's, been taken down a couple of times. Really, his only win against Jason Witt, and really, I mean, fucking big deal, right? Lost to Waters, lost to Danny Barlow. No real shame there, but that went to the third round. So I wouldn't be surprised if this goes the distance. Yeah, I just kind of favour Fugit a little bit, or Fugit, whatever we're calling him. I think maybe he can get a decision win some minutes on the card, and hopefully stay safe enough and not get knocked out.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I think like I said, I think he may be able to get it done. So we'll see. Um, no need to beat this one with a stick. Up next is Jimmy Flick and Nate Maness. 16 books or 31 books, 16 days. Jimmy Flick is plus 351. Nate is minus 500. The over appears to be set at plus 1.5, and it's about plus 150, depending on where you find it for the over, and minus 200 for the under. I mean, it's Jimmy Flick by submission or Nate Maness by knockout. And then you got to find your juice on it. So, bet if you can get the same game parlays, you bet Nate Maness, money line, knockout, plus knockout, plus under 1.5, and get the best odds you can for a same game parlay on it. And then you take Jimmy Flick and you just bet him by submission with no round limit on it. Because if Maness, I know he's got a good tank. I'm just saying, if he tires out at all and Jimmy can keep it together, he's bound to find something. Jimmy searches for a lot of submissions. He transitions really well. Yeah, that's just my take on this one. Trace, why don't you tell me how it's really going to go down?
Man, I think Nick Maness just knocks him, or Nate Maness knocks him out probably pretty viciously in this fight at some point. I'm leaning round one. I'm gonna play the round one, round two prop on FanDuel. Honestly, Flick's got to get in and try to get him down to any cost. Like, this is the truth about Flick. Flick is a moment winner. He's never going to win a fight off of minutes. He's going to find a moment to make a submission happen, or he's not going to win. He can't. He's not somebody that's going to go in there and outwork somebody for the win. He's going to finesse something, get something sneaky, and that's it. Other than that, he loses the entire fight until he does that. So, if you're betting Jimmy Flick, you are betting on a submission. Like you said, I 100% agree with you. If you're on Jimmy Flick, you got to be on my submission because there's no other way he's winning this fight. But yeah, give me Maness by knockout.
Agree. But
Like you
man, I brought up that other window and almost got some feedback there. Mike, nice to see you in the room, bud. Ozzy, get after it. Mike, whenever you're ready to get on the mic, bro, throw that hand up. I'll throw it right over. We want to hear what you got to say on two back, too.
Yeah, man, I love Menez round 1K here at plus 145. I think that's kind of a must play. But I also like Flick round one at 8-1 and round two sub at 20-1. I think that's kind of crazy. Um, if Flick wins, exactly like Trace was saying, it's just an opportunistic submission here. I mean, I taped this fight today, and man, Flick's fun to watch, man. I mean, he is just terrified on the feet. Every second he's on the feet, he's literally shitting broken glass, man. And he gets pieced up. The Costa fight, he kicked the shit out of his leg. He almost dropped him with leg kicks. After 3 leg kicks, he had to fight southpaw. Then he was getting his other leg kicked out. Just unbelievable, man. Then when he fought Gordon. Gordon came out fighting like an idiot. He came out trying to take him down, and Flick kind of had him in a triangle choke, and Gordon escaped. Then he had him in a, what are we calling it now? OSP,
Oh,
whatever it
same.
is, Von Pru, whatever we call it. And then in the second round, he got him in an arm triangle. Like, Gordon just couldn't wait to fuck that fight up. But I really don't see Maness giving Flick the opportunities that Gordon was doing. He's going to stay at distance. He's going to time his strikes perfectly. And he's going to knock him out, I think, and he's going to knock him out early. So give me Maness KO at 1 at plus 145. And I might take a tiny little stab at some of those Jimmy Flick round props, but Maness KO is the bet here.
I don't disagree with any of that. And you have to play the Flick submission. I mean, you're going to get good money on it. And I shouldn't say you have to, but if you're a guy who hedges the bet, you're just fucking foolish not to. Mike,
Easy hedge.
Yeah, Mike, nice to see you on the mic, bro. Why don't you hit this fight, and then when we're done, I know there's one fight in here we want to ask you about what your take was, and then we'll just move on, bro.
Okay, well, yeah, this take is pretty simple as far as this one. Like, Nate is a lock, and he's going to knock him out pretty viciously early. I'd say probably round 2 because he likes to play around on the feet, but his precision and his power is no joke, and he has really strong takedown defense. Flick is going to have to do something like he did on Cody Durden, like a flying triangle. He's just going to have to completely catch him off guard to get a submission on him. But I don't see that happening. Maness is really going to he's going to finish him early.
I mean, yeah, there's no real argument for that. Like, it's just the betting point of view that you have to play the Jimmy Flick submission, especially what do you say, 20-1? Like, if you can take it by the round and get it at 20-1, fuck, man. I just feel like play a quarter unit on it. Put $2 on it. Like, shit, just put something on it. All right, we'll cap that one out. Hey, we were talking a little bit, and we were fairly split. Tell these fools why Jeka's gonna knock Westin Wilson out, bro.
Wait, y'all are split on that fight?
I mean, I'm not. Jeka's gonna knock Westin Wilson out. I'm not.
Wait to say split. I'm just saying I was gonna play a quarter unit probably on the sub round props as long as they're pretty good odds just on the Weston Wilson just because I don't think this is the highest level of fights and shit happens.
Yeah. Yeah, if you're going to bet on Wilson, it's sub. He's not going to outstrike him. His striking is fucking horrible. But yeah, the sub is the only way to get him, and he's going to have to like really be stronger than Jeka, and he's not. Jeka is really strong, and he's not just all power punches. He has really good takedown defense too. You got to really outmuscle that man. He's not going to. Jeka's going to force him on the feet, and he's going to knock him out pretty bad. It's going to be bad.
I think if Weston shoots and fucking eats the waist, I think Jeka could knock him out, just hit him in the side of the head right there, bro. I feel like Jeka hits that hard. I feel like he could really. Weston is in trouble. He has to play the distance, and he's not that smart.
My opinion on it was that Jeka is so short in comparison. He has to really close a lot of distance to get in. If he's close enough to punch, Wilson can clinch for sure. And whether he can get him down with that height and leverage or pull guard or whatever he might be able to do, guillotine choke.
Just letting
that
him
was more what I was thinking. Yeah, if he's close enough to land strikes, Wilson's close enough to grab the brick.
Zabets, get after it.
I kind of agree with your take on this, Joe, of the Asian fighter. They're gonna promote him. But what do you guys think about the under on this fight as well?
Oh yeah, this
Yeah,
fight
definitely kid.
probably. Under's probably safe. This fight most likely ends in round 1.
Yeah, you know, some books let you get that gone in 60 seconds. You know, that's not a bad bet on Jeka. If you can get Jeka to win in 60 seconds, that might be all it takes. He doesn't, you know, TKO you. You know, he knocks you out. And Westin Wilson could definitely get knocked the fuck out.
I know DraftKings offers a fighter to win under a half round as well.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I don't see what he can do in the second half. He can't do in the first half. You know, if he lands, you know, 4 or 5 clean punches, he's probably clocking this guy.
Yeah, definitely agree. So we're circling back now. Let's get back into the actual card. I think we're on to the
Tagir Ergen.
no, we skipped Hiestand and Armfield, right?
No, that doesn't come next.
Yeah, we're on
Tapology.
Armfield.
Anyways, or Joe, we'll go off whatever you got. We'll just keep your order then.
Actually, he's right.
Oh,
It's Joshua Van.
Yeah, it's Joshua Van and Tagir Ulanbekov. That's the next fight, flyweight.
All right.
I think I'm on the UFC's stats and our site. I go back and forth to make sure, because sometimes our site flips them out of order. So I flip back and forth just for card continuity. Josh is plus 179 at 33 books, as deep as 16 days old. Tagir is minus 227 on average at those same books. Man, I really like fight to go the distance no here. I don't think Joshua Van is. I don't. I don't think he should be at plus 179, but I don't feel like it's a huge disparity. I would see him where he should probably sit more at like plus 120 or 130. I just think it's a matter of whether or not he will be strong enough to fight Tagir, like physically strong enough. And if he can match the strength and find some takedown defense, I don't know. I think he's got a chance here. Trace, what do you got on this fight?
Man, as much as I'd like to say, I won't. I mean, Josh Van's going to win this fight. I just don't think he's got much of a chance in this. I think Tagir's the real deal. I think he's probably going to go out there, secure the takedown, and wrap up submission probably round 1, round 2. I do like Joshua Van, but the kid's only 22 years old. If he goes in here and loses and looks good, it still rises his stock, because I do think, like I said, that Tagir's the real deal. But the kid's young; he's got plenty of time to grow. But he could also come in here and have improvements and leap and bounds with that. With the thing with him being young, it can be a bad thing and a good thing depending on how they go about it. They're young; they have plenty of time to bounce back. But yeah, I just think it's a little bit too much too soon. I think they're giving him a jump up in competition a little bit too much, a little too early for him. So yeah, give me Tagir by submission. Mike, what you got on this fight, brother?
I got it the same. Yeah, Tagir is he's the real deal. His striking is really good. I don't like how he kind of catches and returns a lot early, but the way he approaches striking is he'll, how would I say this? When he returns off his stripes, he returns at different angles all the time. So it's going to be hard for Joshua Van to read what's coming back at him, especially when it's coming back at him at the same time he's throwing punches. And then the way he mixes in takedowns, I think it's going to be a striking fight at first. Joshua Van is going to think it's going to be all good. It's his kind of fight, but he's going to figure out real quick that Tagir's the real deal. He's going to be outstruck. And then once he gets taken down, he's going to get submitted, because I don't think he can match the strength of Tagir at all.
He is at a 5-inch reach advantage too, Josh Van. He's got a 65-inch reach versus Tagir 70. So yeah, he's got an uphill battle from the start. Usman.
Yeah, when it comes to this one, I'll personally be betting on intangibles, hoping that Van is on that side of
22, where he's the only one in his gym that's getting focused on. You got to know that whether it was going to be Tagir or Tyra, they had to be working on the takedown defense. And he's going to have a lot of those opportunities to, if he can stuff takedowns, steal rounds with his pressure and his volume. I understand why people are on Ulanbekov. I understand why he's the side. Like I said, I'll be betting on the unknowns and hoping the young kid from Texas pulls it through. What I will say is over two, and it's set at over 2.5 minus 125. This is why I like to do the split strat and write everything down last minute, because I get to see where the line moved from when we talk about it today and when I write about it on Sunday or Friday. Goes to split plus 350. That hits our criteria. Goes the distance plus 105. Doesn't hit our criteria, but it's right goddamn there. And if it comes Friday that we're in the minus money for goes the distance, I'll be all over that over.
Ozzy.
Yeah, I haven't really had a deep look into this fight yet, but I'm kind of hoping I can get to a spot where I pick Van. I really do like Van, man. His body work and that boxing range is really, really good. And if he can get off on some of that early, man, I mean, that's going to pay dividends come later in the fight. Uh, Problem is, I expect Ulanbekov to get his takedowns early and get a bit of control. Just looking at some of the odds, again, I haven't really looked into this fight, but um, Ulanbekov KO plus 1,000. I know he doesn't have one on his record yet, but he could definitely get a positional ground and pound TKO. His stand up is not shit either. It's decent there. So that just looking at the odds, that's one I kind of like. Just staring at me plus 1,000. I think that's a decent play right there. And I wouldn't hate some Van round three either. I can see it's only plus 1,800. I expect to get a much better line at other books, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does get some good body work early on. But yeah, I'm gonna take this fight today, and hopefully I find something I really like.
Za.
I'm gonna agree with Usman here. I kind of lean Van in this fight for narrative purposes. On the UFC, I think they're trying to push a narrative out there, but I might throw him in a parlay. We'll see. But my play is gonna be the over as well. I like the over 1.5 or 2.5. Fight to start the third round.
I will say this for the Joshua Van lovers. Going into this, I thought I was for sure going to be on Joshua Van, but when you look back at his wins, they're just it's not the best or the strongest wins that he's got in the UFC. So the performances aren't as good as we thought they were, or at least I thought they were originally watching. So yeah, I don't hate any Josh Van love. I do think the kid's got a bright future. I just think it's a little bit too much too soon. Usman.
Yeah, last thing I'll say is that we're already getting some good money on Van if you're betting him. Um, One thing that we've seen is he's going to be one of these fighters that takes a little while to get going, whether it come at the end of the first round or at the start of the second. I think this would be a great live betting opportunity because whether Tagir does start getting them takedowns or he just starts slow, we're going to get an even bigger number after round one, I think.
I ain't mad at that at all. Ozzy, close this out.
Sorry, man. Just one last quick thing. I know you guys probably know, but the Tagir Elliott fight, I'm hearing a lot of Tim was in there cheating his ass off. What was the controversy there?
He kept grabbing the glove.
Grabbing a guy. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna rewatch. I'm gonna
Yeah,
watch that fight today, but it looks
I
like the
think
only
that just threw
blemish.
him off more than anything. And once he was thrown off, like the whole flow of the fight was just, it was all Tim Elliott.
He ain't
Yeah,
cheating.
I mean,
He's dirty, man.
he got the split decision against Nascimento, then lost the decision to Ali. Is he gassing late or something?
Yeah, he slows a little bit, but he's still in that fight. So it's not like he's defenseless.
Yeah,
Tim
yeah.
also
All
pushes
right,
a crazy
thanks.
pace early in the fight that most people don't, though. Joe, what you got next for us?
Man, I thought we was gonna talk about this one for the whole 90 minutes, boys. God damn. Uh, up next, Brady Hiestand versus Garrett Armfield. Garrett is Garrett's trying to get down on social media lately. I don't know if anybody's following him or not. 33 books, 16 days old, minus 185. Garrett Armfield on average. Brady Hiestand plus 149 on average. I believe it is set at over 2.5, minus 180, under 2.5, plus 150. I think this is a really fun fight to watch, and I will have absolutely no bets on it at all. Mike, why don't you kick this one off, bro?
Okay. I am on Hiestand. I was on Armfield before I broke down the tape, but just a couple things that I've noticed. The striking of Garrett Armfield, I believe, is severely underrated. He's a phenomenal striker. And he's gonna probably catch Hiestand early for some reason. I don't know why, but Hiestand is just defensively irresponsible, especially just early. Sorry, I had to drink some water. So when that happens, he immediately gets on his wrestling. And I believe the wrestling and the cardio of Hiestand is going to be a big factor. He can go. We've seen him go all 15 minutes. We've seen him have a crazy pace, whether it's striking and wrestling. And after that first round, he becomes a little bit more smart with his strikes. His setups are better. His defense and footwork is a lot better. And the one thing that I love when I'm breaking down the tape is I love seeing improvement. He stands striking, although it's not perfect, he is improving on it. And that with his high pace cardio wrestling, I think he's just going to be too big for Armfield to handle throughout the 15 minutes. Hiestand by decision is my prediction.
Very nice. Very nice. Trace, you got anything on this one?
Yeah, I just think that the fight, if anything, for Garrett Armstead to be at minus 180, I think it's more to do with like you were mentioning, Joe, with his MMA Twitter, uh, his willingness to engage with people on Twitter and him being personable on Twitter. I think he's a more of a fan favorite, and that gets construed into the betting. I think this fight should be more close to a pick'em. So it makes me want to take Hiestand because he's a sizable dog where he should be closer to a pick'em fight. I do think, like Mike said, that the danger for Hiestand's mostly in the first round, and after that it kind of fizzles out. So yeah, I think if he weathers the storm early, he probably wins the fight in a split decision. But I think early on he's gonna eat some punches, and it's gonna be interesting to see how he handles those. So I'll probably play Armfield KO round 1-2, and then hedge with a Hiestand. Probably go a little heavier on the Hiestand decision prop, and I guess the Armfield be more of a hedge in that case. So yeah, I agree with Mike, but I'm gonna play a little bit of it on both sides.
Very nice. Ozzy, you had your hand up quick, bro. I just tried to shuffle it up. Get after it.
Yeah, man, I really like Hiestand here, man. He's had almost 20 minutes top control in his 3 fights. He goes for takedowns a lot. He's pretty relentless. And yeah, he has been hurt early, but if you watch those fights, he gets dropped and within 30 seconds he's on his opponent's back, man. Like he gets dropped, he recovers quick, he keeps his wits about him. And man, grappling, he's really good. I mean, he's very opportunistic. I really like this kid, and I think he's going to have the gas tank here. And I think come that third round, if this has been real heavy grapple fight, I really favour Heinstead. I'm going to have him to win by decision. I agree with everything you guys said. Um, yeah, Armfield. Yeah, he's a really good fighter too. I'm a bit surprised that they matched these two up together because both of these guys could have gone on a bit of a run, I think, before meeting each other. But really good fight for the card. I also thought it was going to be a pick'em, and if the line was reversed, I'd be betting Armfield. But at this line, I got to bet Brady here, and I'll probably have him to win by decision as well.
Very nice, bud. Very nice. Usman.
So I was an overboy before I started this strat, and not to kill it, but everything on the strat is saying hit the over, so that's what I'll be on. Personally, when it comes to picking a side, all I see is love for Hiestand. To me, most of the time, that's kind of like a red flag. Uh, just because the public don't win, like we always say. But I just like Garrett. I think yeah, his Twitter personality has something to do with the people liking him. But the two fights that we've seen him in, the Brad Katona fight, we'll all hate Brad Katona for his performance this past Saturday. But the dude is good. I think we can all agree that he's very well rounded and good. Um, Pretty much I thought handedly beat Katona in that one, and I was holding a damn Katona ticket. I think so. I, I think it's like the opposite of what I said about the Joshua Van fight, to where he's still young and he has the intangibles on his side. I always try to root for Tough. I'm not gonna be mad whoever wins here, but just something about Brady just hasn't gotten me to really push for him and see massive growth that he'll need for this fight. I'm on Garrett, but mostly the over.
My biggest worry about Hiestand, and we saw it in his, I guess it's his coach. I'm not really sure what Mike. Oh shit, what's his last name?
Chiesa?
Mike Chiesa. Yeah, I'm not sure. Like Michael Chiesa has been in the UFC for how long? He has shown no improvement in his stand-up game whatsoever since Tough. So with that being said, like, can you expect that from Hiestand? That's what I'm worried about. I feel like what's holding him back is being a homebody and a Washington boy and not wanting to leave. I feel like his potential to be a lot better if he left the camp, but I don't. He just seems like such a loyalist that he probably wouldn't ever.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any rebuttal for that. I don't think he leaves either. I'll say that. I don't think he leaves either. Ozzy, go ahead.
Yeah, I actually interviewed him on my show, and he's got no intention of leaving, man. He loves his team. He's sticking around. Maybe he'll eventually make a move once these guys start retiring or whatever. But yeah, his mindset is definitely there at the moment. He has trained a bit with what's his name? My God, the Sarah Longo crew, Aljo and all that. He has trained with those guys a little bit, so I wouldn't be surprised if he heads over there eventually, or for parts of the year, not necessarily his camp.
Still
But
not,
yeah, he's been over there a bit too.
still not really fixing the holes in the boxing over there, though. Like, not that there's like huge holes. I'm just saying he's not going to go there and become a premier striker. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, I think that's accurate to say. What we got up next here? Asu Alam.
Also, Almabaev.
Joe, we're
Yes,
gonna stay here till you get it right, mate.
fuck you, Almabaev. So most of them I can get, bro. Most of them I could get, but some of them I just ain't got it in me. Versus Jose Johnson, minus. Fuck, dude. 32 books. Asu is at minus 588. Jose Johnson is at plus 400. You can see him as bad as I just want to know how far he goes. Plus 500, and you can see, holy shit. If you are at Gosviner, which I believe is an Australian book, I would have to have Aussie confirm that. He is minus 715. Holy shit.
What was the book, Joe?
How do you say this? Grosvenor.
I haven't heard of it. No.
Then it's probably a UK book. It's not a US book. We got like 40 or 50 of them, bro. I don't know all of them. Fuck, if we can get their odds displayed and people can see it and we can add it to the averages, I'm all about it. I don't think there's much to talk about here, so I'm gonna say nothing at all. Trace, what do you got on this fight?
Yeah, so I actually took also Almabaev at minus 370. I got him pretty early. Got ahead of the steam apparently, but Yeah, man, at minus 700, like you're just irresponsible if you're not taking a shot on the dog at this point. The kid's 6'1" at 125 pounds, assuming he makes the weight. Like that dude could kick him from across the fucking ring, bro. Like, I mean, at some point you gotta play the gigantic guy just for that at that big of juiced odds, just because. So like at minus 700, I'd love to know what the KO prop is for him at that division or for that book. But yeah, I think Asu should be able to go out there and like I said, probably secure 7 takedowns in his way to a decision, maybe a late round submission. Yeah, I think he gives Jose every bit of it, but I might, if this line keeps blowing out of control like it already has, like I'm probably already gonna take a shot now. But yeah, I'll probably take a nice little hedge at plus 1400 or something crazy like that.
Nice. Aussie.
Yeah, this is kind of crazy at this price at the moment. We really don't know how good this guy is. He hasn't really fought, great level of competition. And Johnson, like I said, he proposes a lot of problems at this weight class for anyone, just with that length and size. His big problem is he does tend to really, even in the striking, he finds himself really close in the pocket. And when you got a length and reach like that, you don't want to do that. And that's where he's going to get taken down and probably rinse and repeat. I'm kind of leaning a little bit towards the decision. I don't necessarily think he gets the submission and just rolls straight through him. Um, so yeah, I mean, in his last fight, he went the distance. Is that right? Asu, I think he did off memory. So yeah, I don't mind that. I think he might get 10 takedowns on this guy, but he's going to dominate on the ground. And yeah, unless Johnson does something, big knee up the middle, or he can definitely do something with his long reach. But if he tends to fight close and get into clinch range, he's going to get taken down every time. So I'd like to see him stay at distance, really low leg kicks. I don't want to see no thigh kicks. Like I want you low on that calf if you're throwing kicks. Definitely no body kicks, and let's see how we can do. But he's got to fight really smart here and try to survive.
Yeah, for Guerra, he went to a decision with, but Jose Johnson has lost by submission in 4 of his
Oh man,
so yeah, he's
I had 10 units on Blackshear to beat this kid, and that was one of my most confident picks ever. Man, he comes out and gets my boy in a twister. That was amazing. So yeah, that was. I think he obviously got 50K for that twister as well. But yeah, that was. I could see him get rolled up again here, but ain't going to be no twister. It's going to be a lot of top pressure, and maybe Jose gives up his back and gets submitted. But if not, this could go the distance for sure.
Mike. What you got on this fight, brother?
Yeah, at this price, I mean, you might as well take a shot at the dog, but and the only reason I would say that is because Almabaev has never really faced anyone as big as Jose Johnson. And Johnson's a really good striker. He's just takedown prone, and Almabaev is really good at takedowns. And he's kind of a little bit too cocky when he goes for the takedowns, especially when he's just setting up his strikes. He is really open to counters, especially the knee of Jose Johnson. So even though I believe he's gonna win the decision, I don't see him trying to pass or take a back or anything. The dude's big. He's also really good at submissions too. So I think it's just gonna be in the guard, ground and pound for 15 minutes. But yeah, I think that's it. Either you take that prop or you take a shot at the dog.
It'll be interesting to see if he goes in and tries to shoot singles or doubles, or if he goes for trips. Because I don't think he finds success in the singles and doubles. I think he has to go for the trips because of just the height. I mean, we know that tall man defense for takedowns is a real thing, especially with a height disadvantage like this.
Yeah.
All right, let's get at what's up next. Miles Johns versus Douglas Silva Andrade.
There it is.
I don't know if we're gonna call him DSA or what. But it's got to get there eventually, right? All right, so odds on this fight, Miles Johns is shit. I lost my fucking place. Miles Johns minus 128. Silva de Andrade plus 102. That is the average over 33 books. When you hear plus 102, that means he is minus money and plus money over all the books if you're looking at our website. So plus money on Silva at plus 102, 33 books reporting. I got a quick take on this fight. Silva does have good takedown defense, but it is not flawless, and it is not relentless takedown defense. It is super solid and looks really good initially, and it cracks and it fades. And if you want to find a way to get there, it seems like you can. Miles Johns is going to expose that. He's probably going to stretch it to the over and win this fight by decision based on control time, in my opinion, because I think it's a very clear path for him. He can definitely take him down, and he can probably even get some ground and pound off on him. Yeah, that's just my take. I'm going to turn it over to one of the guys with tape here. Mike, get after it.
Yeah, I'm on Andrade. Miles is a good wrestler, but he's not a high pace wrestler. And even when Andrade is taken down, he has a really good get up game. He's faster, he's stronger. I believe he has way better footwork, and really, it's just the pace. Like Miles John has a slow and steady pace, and Andrade is going to be able to see everything that's coming his way. As long as he's not too reckless and gets hit with that left hook, I think it's Andrade all day by decision. If not, inside the distance late.
Yeah, I mean, he's very dangerous. I think as the fight drags on, though, the threat becomes less and less. Like, that's just my thought.
Oh, and another thing, it's just a competition as well. Like, think about who he's went up against. Andrade has been up against some really top level competition. Johns has not.
Just
Uh,
to your point, his only losses in the UFC are to Zubair Tukagov, Rob Font, Piotr Jan, Lerone Murphy, and Saeed Nurmagomedov.
And he competed well against all of them.
Yeah, he's basically been thrown to the wolves since he's been in the UFC. Nothing but tough fights. He holds a win over Marlon Chito Vera. Also holds a win over Cody Gibson early in their careers. I just like I was on Cody Gibson. I thought he was going to come at him with a high pace and be able to wrestle with him. He wasn't able to. I don't know what happened, if we just overestimated him. But I do know Silva Andrade is going to come and throw hammers for 15 minutes. Going to have the wrestling defense to keep the fight standing. And I do think we see Miles John be the one that fades later in the fight after not being able to get the wrestling takedowns and being forced to strike with Silva Andrade when he's not comfortable, man. Being anxious and being nervous of getting hit by someone that powerful takes effects on people, man. I think Silva Andrade probably gets the decision here, but I would not be surprised if he gets the finish late. So I probably will play round 3 or decision for Silva Andrade, and I might just play a little bit of round 3 just depending on how juiced the odds are. So I'll probably get a good number, especially if he keeps moving in the way of a dog. Like people seem to be betting Miles. I'm surprised by it, but I guess the age is a bit of a hindrance for a lot of people to take the bet. But give me Silva Andrade. Aussie.
Yeah, man. Me and Trace have been right on a couple of these fights with the same opinions, man. I won't repeat everything he said, but I'll just add to it a little bit. Um, let's see. Miles Johns has seen the third round in 8 of his last 9 fights, and like Trace was saying, this is a different animal. This is a different fight. You're not going to get all your takedowns. If you do, he's going to get back up, and I think he needs really takedowns to win this fight, John. So I don't think he's going to stop shooting. He needs to keep shooting. I think he's going to get pieced up a little bit on the feet here. Um, Douglas Silva, he can fight close in some fights. He needs to pick up the volume a little bit. I keep hearing he's old. Well, I haven't really seen that he's old yet. People are talking about it, but, maybe show it to me. I think he's got some gas left in the tank. He's back on the secret sauce. Yeah, I don't know, man. I really like him here. I like him late a lot, like Trace was saying. Give me that round 3, man. I keep betting against John's round 3. He's shown a better gas tank, but that's because he's kind of against a bit lesser competition. I think this is a step up for Johns here, man. I think if it wasn't for, if the Silva was 10 years younger on paper, I think he'd be a bigger favourite. I think a lot of people are passing him by because they think he's getting a bit old, but we're going to see how old he is this weekend, man. And I'm definitely going to pay to see it. Give me the Andrade round 3, and I'll take a little bit of round 3 sub. And I know I'm going to get a good price on that.
I'll follow suit on that. I might play the sub as well. Joe, what do you got?
I'm ready for the next fight. You ready for the next fight?
Rock, yeah, I think we killed that one.
Yeah, me too. Lucas Almeida and Timothy Kamba. Did I say that right?
Kwamba.
Kwamba. All right, we'll go with that. You probably got that one right, maybe. 34 books. Timmy is minus 204. Lucas Almeida plus 162. I'll be honest, man. I was looking for an audio clip that I could play on loud into my microphone that said layup. Yeah, I think the writing's on the wall here. The UFC wants Timmy to get a finish and get into the win column in the big show, not just on the Contender Series. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. I just think that the writing's on the wall there. No tape on this one. Not a fight I'm very interested in at all, to be honest, from a betting standpoint. I know we don't got Mike for much longer. So, Mike, why don't you give us your take on this fight and then plug your website? And before you get out of here, I'd like to tell you that I'm not insulting you, but if you need any help with your website or anything, bro, I can help you. Like, I do all that shit. I'm pretty good at it. I'm pretty clever with some of it, bro. So if you'd like a hand with anything, or like maybe a little bit more of a news format, I could probably help you set that up, bro, real easy. So you get a feed or something. Anyways, get after this fight, bro, and then have a good night.
All right, it's all good. Like I'm not good at web design, and I'm doing everything myself, so I just kept it simple. So yeah, but let me see. Kwamba has all the tools, the speed, the power, the defensive movement to end Almeida early. However, if he doesn't, Almeida has a pace and a striking flow that he keeps with him throughout the fight that will be a danger to Kwamba as the fight goes on. Especially those leg kicks, and especially that, I think it's the right hook, when he goes to the body and follows up with the right hook. Kwamba needs to be very intent on ending this fight in round 1. And that's the prop I'm going to play. But don't be surprised if Almeida does survive that he finishes Kwamba in like round 2 or 3. Oh, and well, yeah, that's my take. I'm about to go. My website is allinforbettertimes.com. The number 4 and better, BETTOR. I have all the fight card breakdowns, and I'm doing PFL and Bellator next week. And yeah, that's it. Follow me on the social media too.
And he's been killing it. For those that haven't been following him, I retweet most of his bets that he puts out. Solid few weeks he's been having. So good shit on his website as well. Yeah,
and I've hit just one thing. I've hit the last 5 of my best bet parlays, half cash, and I'm going for 7 this week.
So yeah, if you don't already follow him, go give him a follow, guys. Like I said, we enjoy having him on here, and we appreciate him coming and give us our takes. I was going to play devil's advocate because I figured I knew Mike had said earlier this week that he was on Timmy Kwamba pretty heavy, or pretty favorably, but yeah, I know that Almeida's coming off, I think it's 2 losses in a row. Yeah, 2 losses, 1 to Sabatina and 1 to Andre Fili. The Andre Fili KO, not the best look. But if this fight goes late and Kwamba does seem to have cardio, if he does have cardio issues, which I don't think he will, But if he has cardio issues, Lucas Almeida's power is there throughout the fight, and he can get the finish. But I think Timmy's probably going to be able to get the fight done here in the first round, and by round one or two KO. So I'll be playing that on FanDuel as well. Yeah, but I think it's going to be a banger for as long as it lasts.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, I can't convince myself to bet on this fight. I just don't. I don't know. I just don't. Whenever I look at it, to me, it's just to stay off of it. I'm parlaying, man, and for me, it's just not a solid spot anywhere for a parlay, in my opinion. Not even the under. So I'm just not doing it. You ready for the next fight, Trace?
Yeah, let's rock.
Ikram Eliskerov, Antonio Tricoli. Odds on this one are off the fucking charts. 19 books, minus 1250 for Ikram. Under 1.5, minus 180. I agree. I'm very high on Ikram. I have been since he showed up in the UFC. There's been nothing that has changed my mind about that yet. Yeah, Ikram, first round. Thought probably knockout. Ikram is gonna fucking put work on Antonio, in my opinion. It's hard for me on these ones because I know I can get over talking. I've watched all Ikram's tape. I've looked up the shit that's hard to find. I'm really high on him, so I think the line is crazy. I think being minus 1,400 is, god damn. I don't know if it's that far off. I would expect to see minus 700 or 800, but whatever, it is what it is. Trace, what do you got on this fight?
This dude lost to Diego Lima, Jacob Volkman outside of the UFC. Yeah, I think that kind of tells you all you really need to know about him. Diego Lima has had multiple attempts at UFC stints and couldn't find success in the UFC. I don't think he's going to come out here. I think the guy that lost to him is going to come in here and beat a highly touted prospect like Ikram. Yeah, I'll probably play the. Let me see what this guy looks like. So he's a submission guy. Most of his ones by submission. Yeah, I'll probably play Ikram round 1 KO. Probably play the round 1 or 2 on FanDuel just to play it safe, just in case this guy's able to make it and be a little bit durable. But yeah, I think this is just a quick W for Ikram. Nice little payday and smooth sailing.
Yeah, you got to give these guys fights, right? So
Yeah, like I would say if this is a guy that I know is proven, I would take a dog shot against him. But I just think at this point it's probably unwarranted and probably just a waste of money. So why even hedge? At this point, you're not going to make a good bet, so it's just a pass for me. Outside of finding some value on that round 1 or 2 KO prop.
yeah, I 100% agree with that. Aussie.
Yeah, man, they put this guy up against Tricoli, man. There's no need for this, man. That's crazy. I guess they're pissed off. So what happened? He pissed hot for his Contender Series fight in 2019, right? Then 2 years later, came back, had another fight, won that by choke, and then they brought him back in, and now they're punishing him, man. He shouldn't have signed this contract. They should have told him to get fucked. They're putting him in here against this guy. What's he plus 800 to win or something? That's crazy. I mean, you give me this guy Ikram at what is he minus 1,000 or something to win? It's just insane odds. But him to win by submission is plus 170. You give me plus 170 on a guy that's minus 900 or minus 1,000. I'm going to take it. That's the prop that's paying, so that's the prop I'm betting. I can see him even taking this guy down and just submitting him real quick. I can see him knocking him down and submitting him instead of ground and pound. He does whatever he wants to this guy, and um, just because the other guy's got Tricoli's got a couple of subs, yeah, that's against some trash cans, man. I don't rate his submission game really at all. I think he's going to get worked on the mat if this hits the mat. So, yeah, I'm hoping maybe Tricoli lands something on the feet that just makes Ikram think, oh, fuck it, I'll just take you down and tap you out, because that plus 170 by submission, yeah, I'm going to take that. Why not? At a guy that's this price, this massive favorite, yeah, why not just go with the prop that's paying?
What's crazy is I'm looking at Tapology and they're saying for him he has 3 KOs, but I only see one. He has 1 KO in his his MMA debut, his pro debut, but okay, never mind. There's a couple of fights that aren't labeled as how he won, so I was trying to figure out where the KOs came from. But yeah, like submission guy versus a elite around well-rounded fighter. Give me the well-rounded fighter. What do you got next, Joe?
Main event time: TatsuroTaira versus Alex Perez. Alex Perez, 34 books plus 147. TatsuroTaira minus 185. I'm not gonna give all of the individual stuff. If you want to know what Darce said, go hit the video and then give us the like. But Darce favors TatsuroTaira at a 55% win probability. Yeah, Darce is 8-0, so I'm not gonna post. I'm not. Yeah, I don't even like TatsuroTaira. I fucking despise the guy. I can't wait for the day to fade him. And as much as I want to go, oh, the probability is only at 55%. Yeah, it's at 55% in every direction, though. Like it's 55% everywhere. So, yeah, I'm I'm gonna say that Tatsuro probably takes that fight, and I still have no interest in that fucking fight, but I'll watch it anyway. What do you watched actual tape and actually care about this fight, Trace? What do you got on it?
Yeah, man, I go back and forth on it. So I do think it's closer to a pick 'em, like you're mentioning, a 55% implied, if anything, for Tyra. I don't think he's a huge, or at least shouldn't be a huge favorite coming in. This is a clear step up in competition for him. Alex Perez is one of those guys that's fought a lot of the high level guys. I consider him high level, even if the record lately hasn't really shown that. He's lost mostly to champions or former champions. Uh, With that being said, though, I think everything is being built. Obviously, is being built towards building up Tyra. I think him fighting multiple times a year, or any fighter fighting more than 2 or 3 times a year in a year span, much less a short period of time like he has, doesn't tend to bode well. You're getting overtrained and overworked, and I think that is going to affect his performance here, man. If he was coming in with a full camp, uh, or yeah, like a full camp with a and not coming off of multiple fights already this year and having time to heal in between is mostly what I was getting at there. Um, yeah, I'd probably take a shot on him, and I still might play the late round props for him. I might play the rounds 3, 4, 5 KO, maybe even the sub prop, uh, just because we don't know that Tyra's cardio is proven yet for 5 rounds. But I think Tyra more than likely gets his submission probably in round 2 or 3. I don't think he's going to be running through Perez particularly early. I think he's going to have to work for it, and yeah, I think he eventually gets a submission at some point. But I don't hate playing the Tyro decision prop, especially if it's going to be juicy. So, be interesting to see what some of those lines open up at. Aussie.
Yeah, my man, you're speaking my language again. Tyra by decision plus 475. Give me some of that. I'll have some 4-5 or decision if it's even close, anywhere close to that line. Definitely look out for that, because sometimes they are relatively close to just the decision line. Um, Man, Perez ain't no bitch. He's looking really good lately. I know this is a quick turnaround for him. Only half of those cancelled fights were his fault. Uh, it's pretty insane that the amount of cancelled fights he's had. But he's back in the game now. He's feeling good and he's ready to go. TatsuroTaira, he's gone 3 rounds with much lesser fighters than Alex Perez of late. And, you look at Perez, he's been submitted a few times, man. Some of them were like 8 years ago, 10 years ago, whatever. I like Perez to survive, man. He's no slouch on the ground. He's a good jiu-jitsu guy. I don't see him really giving up his back. And TatsuroTaira, I guess he could maybe pass his guard, get to side control or get to mount and do some work there. Maybe force Perez to give up his back. But I think Perez is going to do enough to stay alive in this fight. I don't think he's going to win. I do think Tyra is the new face of the division, really, and the UFC is obviously giving him that push. Perez is a name guy, but I think he kind of takes him down and does what he wants to him. A bit worried about Perez later in the fight if he is having to defend a lot of takedowns and getting worked on the ground. But yeah, man, give me that TatsuroTaira by decision plus 475. I think that's a great line, and I'll also have his round 4-5 or decision. Yeah, I like this fight to start round four at quite a big clip, and yeah, that's probably going to be one of the bets that makes me or breaks me on this card, man. That the price is just too good. I'm going to probably have more money on it than I really would like to, but the price is just too good for me to pass up.
Usman.
Yeah, so I was always on TatsuroTaira before Dars had any action on this, but now that he is on Tatsuro, it's definitely an easier bet for me, or makes me feel a little more secure. One thing I wanted to bring up was we talked about the Alex Morono turning around in 7 weeks, and that just being in a real shitty area compared to like, oh, he turned around in 2 weeks. Everything is still fresh. He hasn't gotten to that point to where maybe he's overworking himself. Between the Makaya fight and the Nicolau fight, it was 8 weeks, and he won up against somebody that we knew had some chin issues like Nicolau. And this is 7 weeks between that fight and this Tyra fight. Just looking at probability, I think it's very, very unlikely that he comes and pulls the same stunt back to back in the same time frame and shuts down another prospect that or somebody that the UFC wants to push. Just based on that, also helps me feel a lot more confident about a Tatsuro Taira bet. But the way that he jumps on the back and whatnot, I know Aussie was saying that Perez is a good grappler, and he is, and he is going to do his best to to not let him get on the back. I just think when it comes to Tatsuro, he has them little sneaky ways to at least get on that back and mount up some control time, and then his striking is coming along, man. So I'm on Tatsuro.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's going to be a very telling fight. Like I said, it is a jumping competition, so it's going to be interesting to see how he handles it. But yeah, I think the UFC is going to give him every opportunity to make the best out of this. I'm sure they're making everything comfortable for him, making everything as good as they can for him because they want like Joe had mentioned earlier, they definitely want that Asian sensation.
Yeah, he's one of these guys. This card definitely has I don't know the word I'm looking for, but there are definitely some Asian fighters on here that seem to be getting little bits of pushes. Tea time gossip. I seen you grab the mic, but if you want to get on, just throw your hand up. Anything we're talking about, you're more than welcome to get on. Ozzy, go ahead.
Yeah, one more thing I will say about this card. Back at the Apex again, and again, we've seen some of these really tall guys versus the small guys. These tall guys aren't going to have much room to move, so that's another thing to look at if you're thinking of betting unders or how you think the fights are going to go. A lot less room for these guys to dance around and keep distance. So that's something to look at. And yeah, the grapplers do well in the small cage as well for the same reason. So yeah, there's a lot of couple of matchups on here really interested in, like the Garrett Armfield, Brady Hiestand. Like these guys are both really good guys, and like we were just saying, or you were just touching on with Perez and Tyra, as really a lot of this card is set up to who are we going to push. You got a couple of stepping stone fights or this fighter needs a win fights on here, but there's also who we're going to put our weight behind. And there's some must-win fights for some of these guys if they want favourable matchups going forward. So I think it's going to be a lot more competitive than we think, and some of these fights are going to be really, really good. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this card.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be a horrible card to watch. I think there's going to be some exciting finishes. Yeah, I really think there's going to be some exciting finishes. I think there's the early part of the card probably doesn't exhibit too much of that, though. Trace.
Not putting any weight or any stock into this. I just think it's always fun to get a fighter's take on a fight, especially in their division. So earlier today, I tweeted out towards Sayed Kakramanov. We've had him on the show a time or two, so we do have somewhat of a relationship with him. But I just asked him who he thought who he was taking in the main event, and he was on Alex Perez. He thinks Perez inside the distance is the way to go with this card. So yeah, I guess he's suspecting that the cardio is not going to hold up, or that just the jumping competition is going to be too much. So, if you were looking for an argument for the other side, there you go. A professional fighter thinks that Sayed thinks that Perez is going to take this fight this weekend. So, yeah, always interesting to hear from another fighter.
Yeah. Yeah. There's not. You're 100% right. That's pretty cool that he responded to you. I didn't see that. Did you say you sent him a DM or did you hit him up?
I just tweeted at him. I think, yeah, just asked him who he had this weekend.
Gotcha.
Hey
All right.
guys,
Well,
I'm
hey,
so,
how you doing? Tom, I see you down there, but my bad. Go ahead, get after it. Nice to have you on the mic.
hey, yeah, thanks. I'm a good friend with Colin Crandall of the MMA Power Hour, and that's how I met Aussie. I just had a general question. Okay, between Alex Perez and Tatsuro, whose wrestling is better? Because I feel like wrestling's a very grueling, athletic sport, and even though it's MMA, I feel like the grind in wrestling can sometimes give the person the attrition they need to kind of go the distance. Because such a hard cardio intensive exercise. So between the two, who's better on the ground?
I would say pure wrestling favored Alex Perez, in my opinion.
I mean,
Trace.
if we're going off of just styles, I mean, you would have to go with TatsuroTaira. I mean, most of his wins come from the groundwork, whereas I mean, look at Perez real quick. Yeah, he's mostly a decision. So I mean, he's proven that he can go the distance, but it's not that like he's just this proven finisher in one area. He has a mixture of KOs and submissions, whereas most of TatsuroTaira's wins have come from submissions or ground and pound.
Okay, I feel like I have to go with Tatsuro then in this fight. Would I be wrong in that?
No, the money line and the general, I guess, public would agree with you on that.
How do you guys feel about the news of Connor fighting Charles Oliveira? I feel like this is a very interesting matchup. I'm Team Bronx. I mean, I've been Team Bronx since back when I live in Texas, and he used to train an hour and a half for me. So I got to rep Texas. I mean, um, anyone else going Team Bronx and for later?
New Bronx versus who?
Conor McGregor. Charles Oliveira is fighting Conor McGregor.
You mean Michael Chandler?
Oh, it's Michael Chandler.
You might have been trolled there, T.
Is it?
Yeah, someone might have trolled you, dude. You got caught.
Oh, never mind then. So he's fighting Chandler instead.
Oh yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, as far as we know, that fight's still happening. So as of now, yeah, he is fighting Michael Chandler.
All right, my bad.
No problem, my brother. Joe, what do you got next for us, brother? That closes out the card for us.
That does. That absolutely caps the card out. You know me. I'm over here fucking typing in Conor McGregor, needing to know. But I'm not following for any of these videos that are like audio and then you click it and it's a fucking 80s song or something. There's no big announcement.
I got caught on that too this week.
Yeah, it's every time. Following for so okay, that's it. That caps the card out. We're only a few minutes over the normal time. 206 dead picks, if that matters to you. We close out with some fight announcements. Usman handles this. It's my favorite segment. It doesn't take too long to burn through, but it's definitely my favorite segment. So, Usman, are you there?
Got you.
Well, it's your ship now, sir.
All right, so freaking Zaza Betts down there broke the news last week in the middle of our show, but we didn't get to touch on it much. So this is where we'll start off: Macy Barber versus Rose Namajunas at UFC Denver main event, July 13th. Seems like they're really trying to squeeze everything they can out of Rose here at this new weight class. Nothing. Okay.
Rose is
Uh,
So,
tough, man. Rose
wait,
is
my bad,
very
my
tough.
bad. I was adjusting something around the space. It's Macy Barber Thug Rose. I don't. I understand the fight. I just, man, this is another spot for Rose to look good, in my opinion. But I hope she doesn't. I hope Macy gets it done. But I'm not confident to say that I think Macy is on the level of a even fading Rose Namajunas that is on top of her game. Yeah, I don't see it. It doesn't. I don't. Trace, what do you think?
Y'all ready for a bad dad pun? That berry has been squeezed of all its juices. I don't give two shits about Rose Namajunas or Pat Barry anymore. I'm tired of hearing about them. Like she doesn't have any star power for as far as how I feel. Like I don't. After that Carla Esparza fiasco, who gives a shit about Rose?
For real? Dude, I mean, I think she's still a cloud draw, man. I think she's still a draw. I just think that this fight might be a do or make. But I still think that people want to watch Thug. I mean, I think she's got a lot of fans.
Oh, like I said, 100% my personal view. But like for me, I'm over the Pat Barry corner work and just Rose Namajunas. Uh, what did she say? I'm the champ. I'm the champ, or whatever the hell she was saying. Like, you only say that because you don't believe that kind of shit. Somebody that has confidence doesn't need to shout to themselves that they're confident.
Now, I will agree that that Trace's opinion is probably the general online opinion when it comes to Rose. I feel like everybody is quick to shit on her nowadays, but it's got to say something that the UFC is still putting her on a main event in somewhat hometown territory.
You son of a bitch! Did you just nicely tell me I have a casual take, you prick?
No, it's just a lot of people are shitting on her, man. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's wrong or right. I probably lean with you on the whole. We're kind of done. But to close it off, I'll just say that it seems like Rose's big issue is the physicality of this weight class, even against Amanda Ribas. Yes, she won, but Amanda Ribas was able to put some weight on her, and that's because she's also a straw weight that moves up and down. So the physicality of Macy Barber could be an issue if she really gets her up against the fence and makes it a little bit dirty. Tea time before we go on to the next one.
Guys, fans are like limbs. When the wind's blowing, the limbs keeps like going from one way to another. Fans are so fickle. When you're the champ, they're on your side. When you're not the champ, they are quick to jump ship to say you've lost it. You're no longer on top of your game. I think Rose still got it, and so I'm not counting her out.
All right. On the same card, UFC Denver, July 13th. This is going to be a banger. Friend of the show, Mike Davis, will be fighting Drew Dober. That's going to be interesting as hell.
My man came on here telling us that in the UFC he has never had an easy fight, and he finally got one just to get thrown back into another dog fight, man. But this is gonna be a fun one to watch for sure. But it is not a easy fight by no means. I think if Mike comes in here and uses the wrestling, he probably wins this fight.
Yeah, so my sorry, I know we ain't doing we tend not to do hands during this time. Um can Mike do Dover's pace at his strength for even the first 5 minutes? Can you do it? Like, I'm not trying to be like, oh, this is the method. I'm really asking, like.
I mean,
And
Mike's shown proven cardio throughout his career. It's never he might slow down in the third round, but it's because his output in the first two rounds is just fucking insane. Like the dude goes in there and throws. Like he's coming forward. He's coming to fight. He's not shying away.
yeah, but what I mean is, like, I feel like, and maybe don't criticize that. Oh, it's not quite like that, but I personally feel like Dober has a Robbie Lawler-esque pace. It's not just about the pace; it's about the amount of power that is behind the pace.
Don't get me wrong. There will be a winner in that fight, but neither one of them guys are gonna win that fight. The fans will win that fight because them boys are gonna fucking be hurting after this fight because they're gonna go to war.
Yeah, have we seen Mike there yet? That's what I'm saying. Like, have we seen Mike?
All
Not
of
there.
it's been war. Like Borshev, my one concern is the Borshev fight because he did kind of go life and death with Borshev, and we're kind of saying that Borshev's not really
That good.
aging that well in the UFC.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think
it's like a melting snowman. Sorry, Usman.
no, that's all good. Go ahead.
I was just saying Borishev looks like a melting fucking snowman. Go ahead, bud.
Um, I think when it comes to a Drew Dober fight, I mean, everybody knows you don't want to swing with him. I don't think you need to go at his pace. I think you need to find a way to slow it down, and with the smart enough game plan, Mike Davis could strike from the outside, and once Drew Dober has to put on the pressure, and make it a little bit dirty, that's when you try and time a takedown and slow it down again, get it back up, slow it down with the striking, and then bring it back down to the ground. I think that would be his best way of winning. But if he wants to pull Borishev and want to throw fist for fist with Dober, it's gonna get real risky real quick. We spent some time on that one. I expect to get 15 minutes on this next one. Victoria Dudikova versus the one, the only Sam Page Hughes. Yep, that's August 3rd, Abu Dhabi.
Is that Ashraf?
That is that's ass staff, sir. Victoria Dudikova.
Oh, I did not pay her the due respect she was deserved. Ass staff.
Yes. We spent too much time on this one already. On to the next one. Some guy that I've said that is a fade, and I'll probably be trying to fade him here. Azat Maxim versus CJ Vergara on that same card, UFC Abu Dhabi, August 3rd.
Man, CJ is always the guy that you're like, he could win, right? Fuck betting CJ Vergara fights at this point.
But then you find
No,
out
no. I feel like CJ Vergara is the guy that's always like, oh, he isn't going to win. He has no shot. And then somehow he either makes it really close or squeaks a win out. Like, nobody is a CJ Vergara fan, right?
I tried to be once, it didn't pan out.
Yeah, that's me. Right there. What he said. That's me.
Guys, I'll be
100%.
right back, okay? Hold on.
All right, who's got next on the docket, brother?
Alan Nascimento versus Jefel Fialho at UFC Vegas 95, August 10th. Hey, Fialho's been pretty entertaining in his quick UFC stint, so we'll see what he can do with Alan Nascimento.
Should be a grappler's delight, no?
Yeah, I want to see another limb get taken off, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's a pretty good fight.
What in the living hell are the matchmakers doing making this fight? Calvin Cater versus Kyle Nelson at an unknown UFC event on September 7th.
Kyle Nelson is going to fuck around and ruin Kelvin Cater. And everybody's going to be like, what the fuck just happened?
No, you better behave. Kyle Nelson is a shitbird. He will always be a shitbird. And
And when
people,
he Kelvin Cater, everybody's going to be like, damn, bro, maybe Max beating the shit out of him wasn't a mistake, dog. Like, everybody's going to be like, damn, I thought Cater was good. He is. This is just dumb fight for him to take. It don't make no goddamn sense.
It's absolutely stupid for him to take. Like, why Kyle Nelson?
What'd you say, Trace?
All risk, no reward.
100%.
Yeah, that's my premise for saying that it's going to backfire.
Oh yeah, 100%. I know.
That's my whole fucking premise. Why would you take this fight? We seen Rocky, dog, and then we seen Rocky 2, right? Rocky 2. That's how I feel right now.
I will say, fucking Calvin Cater better not go to decision with shitbird Kyle Nelson, because even if he does and wins, that's gonna look really bad.
Oh man! And the winner by split decision, Kyle Nelson.
Oh, good God! Somebody kicked this guy off the mic. UFC Vegas 95, August 10th. We got right hand to God, Danny Barlow versus Udo Schmedic. That is an absolute banger. That fight. Well, oh, it's left hand to God.
Wait a minute. Did Medic lose? Didn't he have another fight that we didn't see him fight?
So he lost the oral by fight, and he fought. Wasn't it like 4 weeks ago? Looking it up. Looking it up.
Yeah, he just fought recently after that.
Tim
Yeah.
Means in round 1.
Oh yeah, knocked out Tim
right.
Means.
His ass fight. Okay, then that's that. Right on.
Hey, this fight is gonna be a banger for 2 minutes. There's no way neither of these guys come out here and throw as hard as they do, and this shit is extended past the first round.
Agreed.
And UFC Denver, another one that just got added. Chris Duncan versus Nazim Sadikov. Cool.
Yeah, we'll say cool on that one.
I think those are both two middling fighters where everybody's just trying to figure out where the fuck they're at and where they're going. And last one of the night, Marcin Tybura will fight Sergey Spivak versus UFC or at UFC Vegas 95 August 10th. Once again, two middling fighters where everybody's just trying to figure out where they're going, except this time it's at heavyweight.
No, that's just one of them fights that we're like, okay, anyways, because they're not title contenders. They're never gonna be title contenders. Like you said, they're middling. Win or lose, it really has no meaning to it.
Two big whites, two big European whites.
Sorry, what was the fight? It was
Tabora,
Tybura and who?
Spivak.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I mean, you kind of, I guess, come out, I guess.
Did you hear the excitement in Aussie? He was like, who was it? Tybura Spivak. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's us. That's everybody.
They don't even called cunts or pricks. It's just like, oh, okay.
And I guess lastly, I think we'll just talk about it one more time. Everybody's reporting Mike Perry versus Jake Paul, July 20th.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest fight Paul can get right now after all this Tyson talk. I mean, it's not going to bring the boxing crowd, but it's definitely bringing the MMA crowd back. I think a lot of the MMA crowd just weren't really interested because, uh, you know, fuck, we don't want this arsehole. He just keeps walking around beating up our legends, man. Now he's going for Mike. Fuck this guy. Is this still going to be on Netflix? What's the story? Is it now changed? It's now going to be a pay-per-view for Jake Paul, or is it still on the Netflix? What's the word on the street?
No clue as of right now. Everything that's just been reported just said that that's the fight that's been made. I haven't
Yeah,
seen
because
anything
if this
about
is
it on
on
pay per view.
Netflix, if this is still on Netflix, man, like Mike Perry is about to be a fucking mega star, man, because he might come out and beat the shit out of Jake Paul. We don't know, man. I mean, he's going to be a big star after this. He's going to come out. He's going to talk his shit. Even when he keeps himself in check and he's not saying the silly racist stuff, he's pretty damn likable, man. He's just like the dumb idiot, like that everyone loves. As long as he can keep the ridiculousness out of his mouth and um, stuff like that. He's kind of a likable dude, man. He's just a bit of a knucklehead.
So from what I'm looking up here is that the Paul Tyson fight will still be on Netflix, moved to November 15th. And from Jake Paul's camp, they are making the Paul versus Perry fight on the 20th, July 20th, where the Tyson fight was originally supposed to be scheduled. And it makes sense because they had a lot of fights on that. Paul has really tried putting Amanda Serrano on her back and trying to push her. So him falling off of that card would really hurt that. I would assume it's still going to be on Netflix, but I can't find anything that's legit.
You're not wrong, or is that the most competitive fight that uh, Paul probably has or has had so far? I mean, outside of Fury, uh, Mike can really hurt him. Mike's got punching power. Mike's not a bad boxer. That's his base for MMA was boxing. One thing we know for sure is that Mike's gonna get hit, and Mike's probably gonna have a lot of cool moments where he's caught on camera blowing blood out of his nose right before he goes in there and punches the shit out of Paul back. So I mean, he's that one guy that's gonna. He's got the dog. He's not gonna quit, and he's not gonna like. No matter how much you hit that dude, he's gonna keep coming forward. He's been hit with bare knuckles. He's used to it by now. And I know this is not a bare knuckle match. I'm just saying, like, I don't think a boxing glove's gonna just stop him from coming after Paul. Ozzy or Joe, whoever's next.
I was going to continue with this topic. I think the reach advantage for Paul in this is going to be kind of crazy. Perry doesn't really have long reach. That's the only thing I'd worry about with Perry. But yeah, like you said, he's not out of it at all in this fight. Like if you had to measure the guts and grit of these two guys, Perry's going to win by miles. You know what I mean? Mike Perry is a real Viking fucking slay the village motherfucker. You know, Jake Paul is out there dancing for TikTok and doing girly shit like that. That's not in Mike Perry, man. Mike Perry is a natural born killer. And if this does go deep and Mike Perry can make this a real war, we're going to see see what Jake Paul's made of. And in a fight like that, if it's going to be a grueling fight, like there's no doubt you got to back Perry there.
Yeah, Mike Perry's out here sniffing and chewing on his girl's underwear on Twitter, man. You don't want to fuck with that guy.
Mike Perry is the most dangerous guy Jake Paul has ever fought. Mike Perry's not going to be afraid of him. Mike Perry's going to have no fucking respect for him.
And Joe, would you say, Joe, that this is the closest he's ever fought a fighter to being in their prime?
Absolutely not. Mike Perry is no. I don't know that he's in his prime. He's in his prime for bare knuckle boxing, but I don't know if he's in his prime for an actual boxing match.
I wouldn't say he's washed. I'd say he's made a name for himself by beating washed fighters and former champions, broken down guys or guys that can't box. Now he's against the toughest guy I think he's probably fought in a long time.
I will say this: we are going to see Jake Paul in his first fight. This will be the first time we see Jake Paul fight. Because if Jake Paul doesn't fight, if he tries to do that shit he did with Tyron Woodley, Mike Perry will kill him. He will maul him. He will knock him.
That's a great point.
He will knock him out
Yeah.
and then knock him out when he stands back up. He will knock him out again. Jake Paul has never had to fight. Jake Paul has never been in a fight. He has had boxing matches, and that is because people are afraid to get. I mean, the guys who probably did have the skills to beat him were washed, old, and afraid to be the guy that got KO'd by the YouTuber, and like Tyron Woodley did. Mike Perry don't give a fuck. Mike Perry is Mike Tyson's soul animal. I will eat your fucking children.
Yeah.
That is Mike Perry. I love the guy. Mike's from not far from where I'm from, and Mike's just a certain type of person from around where we're from, and I don't think Jake Paul has ever seen what he is going to see in that ring. But Jake Paul is a very big, strong, strapping guy. he can fucking knock Mike Perry out. Let's be clear about that. But he better do it quick. He better do it quick. He ain't gonna let Mike beat up on him for 4 rounds. My question is,
If Mike Perry wasn't fucking people up for money, he'd be fucking people up for free. That's the difference.
no, he'd be collecting. He'd be fucking people up to collect money. For real. Like, Mike's that guy. He's going to fight no matter what his life has in store for him. Mike Perry is a guy that's going to fight. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a very smart move for Jake. If you get KO'd going into the Mike Tyson fight, the allure is over. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson is the biggest fight in the history of the world. If Jake Paul hasn't been knocked out yet, it's only the biggest fight in the history of the world if Jake Paul has not been knocked out yet. If Mike Perry knocks Jake Paul out cold, Mike Tyson versus Jake Perry does 1/5 of the live ratings and just becomes a short in reels and goes viral on the internet. I firmly believe that. So kind of a shitty fucking business decision in my opinion. But maybe go next that card.
We're in a weird place with Jake Paul, though. Like, we're in the point where we kind of have to give him respect because he clearly does have skill. But it's like, how much respect do we give him because of the quality of the competition of when he fought them? It's just kind of hard to find a good measuring stick of where he's at so you can really confidently bet him outside of just assuming everything is rigged.
I was just about to say, like, I'm not gonna discredit Mike Perry because, Mike Perry is that animal. He's that dog. He's that dude. In terms of bare knuckle, in terms of just bringing the being the dog in the fight. Particularly in this fight, how Joe was saying, Mike Perry's more than likely, not more than likely, he is the most dangerous man that that he's ever fought. Like Mike Perry's that guy. But at the end of the day, Mike Perry has said himself that he's a prize fighter. So, and with not rigs. I'm not saying that the fight's gonna be rigged. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, who's to say they're not gonna give Mike Perry like a couple extra whatever it is hundreds or whatever millions or whatever the fuck underneath the table just to carry Jake through the fight just to make him look good because I mean yeah on paper it should be Mike Perry all day. Mike decision, Mike knockout. But realistically, when we get to it, unless I see it otherwise, like unless I see it happening in front of me, it's gonna be Jake Paul decision, right?
You
Yes.
how Floyd carried his brother?
Oh, Logan. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Logan went out on his feet and Floyd picked his ass up and said, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." Yeah, I don't disagree. I mean, I don't know that Mike's fame from knocking him out is such a huge upside. I don't know that they could pay him a bag to fuck it up. But what I do think is Jake Paul is smart enough to make sure that Mike's fight purse is so big that he will agree to any hydration clauses that Jake wants. And everybody who has lost to Jake has said, man, he gets you with those hydration clauses. And he literally just took it out of Floyd Mayweather's book. That's not a lie. I'm not, bro. He does exactly what Floyd used to do to people. Like he's real cool with it too. It doesn't, like this is the stipulation. You get paid a fucking bag to fight me. And if you don't want the bag, if you don't want to agree to these rules, you don't get the bag. We got somebody else that wants the bag. And I think Mike will be like, yeah, I don't give a fuck. I can't do what? Yeah, whatever. Give me the pen, bro, and give me the bag. I think Mike Perry is that guy, and he may not realize he puts himself in a very bad position to fight Jake Paul, a guy who is bigger than him. Aussie, go ahead.
I would say Paul's probably 30 pounds heavier than Perry. He's not worried about rehydrating. He's probably not even going to cut for that fight.
No. Everybody, even Tyron Woodley and Mike and Paul was bigger than him. Even Woodley has been very vocal about the hydration clauses. It's kind of why he wanted the rematch, because he thought, oh, okay, I wasn't really prepared for that or whatever. It was one of those reasons that he pointed out, and Jake got him with it. He gets everybody with it. You can't put hydration restrictions on people. Meaning you can't, the way they do it is they're like, if you weigh in on this day, the next morning, if you weigh more than this, the fight's off. And if you weigh more than this 2 hours before the fight is off. So you literally have to control your weight until like 120 minutes before the fight, which in turn, you're controlling your hydration or putting your body into starvation mode. It works. It's a dirty fucking tactic that people with money, very successful boxers have been able to. I say very successful because very successful boxers have money. It's a tactic that they've been able to use for years. Floyd wasn't the first guy doing it. He's just the best one to have ever done it. You can go find a bunch of old boxers that did similar shit. Maybe not to the point that Floyd did, but Jake's good at it. It will give him a huge edge over Mike. And yep, I still want Mike to knock his ass out. Hit him with that uppercut. Put him down. That's it. You said that's the last one, right, Usman?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, that's the show. CapMMA.com. If anybody has not been to our site that is listening, it's a pretty sweet ass odds board. It's got a parlay calculator. The rounds are messed up in the calculator right now. I don't know why. I'll get it fixed. I just found it. But we've got overs and unders on there. We've got all your money line odds from like 40 books. Like I said, the parlay calculator. We have tail of the tape. We have scorecards all on our odds board. Type in any two UFC fighters in history you want tail of the tape on. Careful with the spelling. It has to be spelled perfectly. And sometimes Nate Maness comes up instead of Nathan Maness. But so sometimes you got to play with it a hair. But you can compare any two UFC fighters, any two PFL fighters, any two one fighters, and we don't have cross promotion yet, but it's coming. From there, you can type in any fighter's name and check cards, and it'll bring up the scorecards. When you check odds, it'll bring up old odds, but man, that is so beta fucking horrible. We set it up, and I haven't had any time to give it attention, so it's pretty shitty, but I can't remove it. I can't remove it because it'll fuck the site up, the layout. So it'll get built up soon enough. But man, we really do put a bunch into that site, a bunch of effort, and it does a bunch of cool shit. All we're looking for is views. There's no ads, views, visits, clicks. There's no ads. There's no pop
No
up.
signups. It's all free.
Yeah, it's all free. And anything you can sign up, but it doesn't do shit for you, because anything that we have, we make sure that everybody has access to. So, yeah, plug the site, plug the site. Mike is Better Times in here. Give him a follow. All of our hosts, Ozzy, Dead Pigs, Connor J is a regular. I know there's more down there. I see YB and Henry. A lot of guys that are in here a lot. We see Aspet in here quite a bit. I appreciate all you guys. Anybody got anything they need